Ready? Okay, there we go. So yeah, it's time to pick up where we left off in 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors. Had a bit of a problem last night because my internet was really, really bad, so hopefully that doesn't happen tonight. Yeah. Alright, so once again we find ourselves in the kitchen. Last night I just started to explore what was up with these plates when my internet died, so let's see. Yeah. Those 9 plates look pretty expensive. They're plates for appetizers. Remember, appetizers usually come on square plates. Hey, okay, well excuse me, princess. Yeah, there's 9 appetizer plates. A voucher. It says appetizer 9, meat dish 10, soup A, if seafood dish F. Partition. There's nothing special about it. 1, 2, 3, there's 10 of them. Flip these over, they look like hats. The middle is super deep for a plate. They're soup plates. They're made that way so the soup doesn't spill. If you ever get out of here, you should treat yourself to a nice dinner out. What makes you think a poor college student has money to do something like that? I think there are 15 of these plates. I'm assuming they're for seafood. How the hell can you tell that? They look just like any other plate from the 99-cent store. If you ever take a lady out to dinner, you're going to embarrass yourself. I feel sorry for June. Why the hell are you bringing up June? The lady doth protest too much, methinks. You are not terribly subtle. I like how the lady dressed up as a, quote unquote dancer is apparently like the scientist in the group. There's a bunch of little wavy ridges on this plate. Those plates are for serving meat. You really are ignorant, aren't you? Come on, it's not like I need to know this crap. Jeez. There's a voucher at the end of the counter. This voucher doesn't match the number of plates on the table. It says appetizer 9, meat dish 10, soup A, seafood dish F on the counter. And the plates on the table are 9, 16, 10, and 15. Maybe they're using hexadecimal here. And hexadecimal is... it's a number system that goes 8, 9, A, B, C, D, E, F, 10, 11. You're familiar with base 10, right? That's the normal system of numbers. The base 10 equivalents for hexadecimal numbers would go like this. 8, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And 10 equals 16. The 10 becomes 16, base 10. I know it sounds strange, but you can think of it as just 6 letters added onto the normal number system after 9. Sorry about that. I think I get it. Yeah, so... yeah, if... I thought it was hexadecimal, saying where the letter was... not hexadecimal. I thought it was like digital root saying where each number was in relation to its place in the alphabet. Like A being 1 and stuff. But apparently it's hexadecimal, so that's fun. Alright. Wow. This pot looks like it's made out of silver. But drinking tea from this pot would be really yummy. A day off June, drinking tea. Such a day ever happened for me? Jumpy? Oh, nothing. We don't really need hot water, so we should be moving on. Yeah. Oh. There's a knife in this box.
rusty knife? I don't think we'll be able to use it while it's like this.
The knife seemed important, Junpei thought, but it wasn't going to be much use this way.
It's futile.
Futile?
You know, a waste, useless, pointless.
Oh. Any particular reason you wanted to bring that up?
Oh, no reason really. I was just thinking about futility.
Huh?
She wasn't making much sense. Junpei tried rephrasing his question.
Why were you thinking about futility?
Last she answered,
Well, it has something to do with the Titanic.
The Titanic?
Yep. Have you ever heard the story that the sinking of the Titanic was predicted?
I mean, there's a bunch of rumors with the Titanic. So, sort of, yeah?
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about. There was a novel that had a bunch of stuff in it that described the sinking of the Titanic before it actually sank.
Yeah, that's the one. The title of the novel is Futility. It was written 14 years before the Titanic sank. But
I know. I mean, I didn't know the name of the book, but the story was the same, right? It was just like what happened on the Titanic?
yeah,
Well, I heard it was all a hoax.
a hoax?
I heard that the stuff that matched up to the Titanic so well was actually added after it sank. Apparently, the only thing that was the same originally was that a boat ran into an iceberg and sank.
But the novel was published in 1898, 14 years before the accident.
Like I said, that was the first print of the book. 14 years later, the author heard about what happened to the Titanic. He figured that was his chance, you know? He just went back and changed some stuff in his novel, so that it matched the Titanic exactly.
Surprised by Junpei's response, Jun seemed rather taken aback.
Really?
Really? There's no such thing as premonitions or any of that stuff.
For a moment, Jun looked very unhappy, more so than Junpei thought was normal for such an occasion. But it lasted only a moment. For no apparent reason, she suddenly looked up at him, alarmed.
But, that wasn't the only book that predicted the Titanic sinking.
It wasn't?
Yep. There were two other similar stories written by a man named William Thomas Stead, both of them before the accident. One in 1886 and one in 1892. Stead wrote two stories that had striking similarities to the Titanic disaster. In one, two ships collided. Many of the passengers died because there weren't enough lifeboats. In the other, a ship collided with an iceberg and sank.
I don't know. I mean, I'll give you that it seems a little weird, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't too uncommon for ships to hit icebergs back in the day, or even other ships.
Right, I knew you'd say that.
Hmm?
But what if Stead had some sort of special powers? To be more specific, what if he had the ability to do automatic writing?
What? Automatic writing? Wait, are you talking about when someone's possessed by a spirit and then they write a bunch of stuff without knowing what they're writing?
Yes,
What do you mean, yes? That stuff's a load of bull.
but Jumpy, you said you believe in curses.
Come on, that's totally different. Okay, let's say, hypothetically, that automatic writing isn't a total load. These guys still couldn't have predicted the sinking of the Titanic. When this Stead dude wrote his thing, nobody had died on the Titanic yet. So if automatic writing is about being possessed by dead people, who the hell possessed him so he could write that stuff?
That's not it.
What's not it?
Stead wasn't possessed by a spirit. He was doing the possessing.
Oh. What are you smoking?
William Thomas Stead was a passenger on the Titanic. He just wrote down what he saw with his own eyes 20 years before it happened.
He decided it was probably best to say nothing. What Jun was saying was insane and utterly absurd. If he tried to take what she was saying seriously, he'd go mad. Junpei smiled uncomfortably.
Well, why don't we talk about this some other time, okay?
Huh? But
Her voice trailed off, and she glanced at the floor, troubled.
Come on, let's get back to it.
Junpei tapped June awkwardly gently on the shoulder and awkwardly reached around her to pick up the knife from the box. We're really in trouble. I know I'm just repeating myself, but this is really a futility moment. That blade is so rusty. Oh! Yeah, I know, we can't cut a damn thing with a knife like this. If we're gonna cut anything, we probably have to sharpen the knife. And I found some stuff last time. There's so much stuff here. A whole lot of cans. This is probably a pantry. Yeah, and behind the cheese. Hey, there's something behind the cheese. You're right. Why don't we move some of the cheese? Alright guys, time to move it. June and I need to look behind you. There's a little green bottle back there. It's a bottle of oil. Vegetable oil, or cooking oil. You could probably use this to make something slippery. Yeah, I found that, and I also found a whetstone. There's milk in here. Milk in an iron barrel. Judging by the rust, it's probably really old. Maybe we shouldn't open it. I don't think it'd be a pretty sight. Yeah, yeah, the whetstone. Whetstone? What are you planning to do with that? Oh shit, don't tell me you're gonna try and smash open the card reader. Are you an idiot? If you do that, then we'll never get out of here. Oh, yeah, I guess that would be bad, huh? This whetstone's only gonna be useful if we need to sharpen something. Like a knife. Yeah, last time... No? Okay. Maybe I'll use the whetstone to sharpen the knife. The blade of the knife is getting sharper by the second. Should be able to cut something pretty good with this. So I guess you managed to sharpen the knife, Junpei? Who are you gonna stab with that? No one! You could probably cut something soft with that. And well, I still don't know what to do with the oil, but hey, we got the sink. Still got water in it. There are a couple plates in there, but I don't think they're gonna help us much. Yeah, now we have a sharp knife. Maybe this table is for preparing food. There are plates everywhere. Oh, a countertop. There's a rolling pin and a colander here. Nothing useful. A trash can. There's nothing inside of it. Oh, better than being full of rotten food, I suppose. Damn it, there's nothing in here. Hey Santa, digging through the trash really suits you. What the hell did you say? Listen, lady, I did you a favor. I knew you just piss and moan, so I did it for you. My, I don't recall asking you to do anything. I'll throttle you. Squeeze me? Don't say squeeze me. Does it feel colder in here? What's this? Alright, it's going... Do you think this is all part of Zero's plan? Probably. Kinda hard to believe there's a chef on board somewhere. What was that, Junpei? It's a grill. Some coals down here. Bright red. Wonder what this drawer is. See the metal grate on top of the grill? And make it like that so that the fat and juices can drip off of the meat while it cooks. The drawer seems to be stuck. It won't open. It looks like the area under the plate opens up. No, you can't. I already checked. It's sealed shut. I think that's where the coal goes. Grill ready to grill. Okay, well I guess if I need to cook some meat, there it is. And we had this. This is probably what you're supposed to use to enter the password. Maybe if you put in the right numbers, it'll open the oven door. Let's see. All we've got here is a pot and frying pan. Oh, and a pressure cooker. Well, I guess we could use some of these as weapons. What kind of an idiot are you? You're gonna run around holding that thing while you're looking for the dead? Hey man, it was just a joke. Why so serious? There's some bottles of seasoning in here. Okay, so yeah, most obvious thing first. Hexadecimal. I wonder if it's some kind of hint. Yeah, maybe. Junpei, do you remember what I told you about hexadecimal code earlier? Yeah, of course I do. Right then, here's a little quiz for you. What would 9 plus F be in base 10? That'd be 1... Or, let's see, no, that'd be... yeah. Yeah, 9 and 10 are normal, but, that's right. Good job. You're a fast learner. Yeah, just, it's normal counting up till 10, and then it goes, A, B, C, yeah. Or no, it's normal counting up to 9, and then it goes... No, fuck. God, it has been so long since I fucked with that, hexadecimal systems. I didn't get a, like, thing on... No. I have stuff on Digital Roots. Okay. It's just Digital Root, it's nothing about the hexadecimal system. Yeah. A equals 10. Yeah. B 11. Okay, so one of them was A, and another was F, so if we're going by Digital Root, still 1 and 6. 16, it's 10, so 10 equals 16. Yeah. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, so 10 through 15. So 9 is, yeah. 10 soup plates, 10 is A. There, 15 of the seafood. It says F on the voucher. 16 is written as 10. Okay, so 9, 1, 6, 1, 9161. Hey Junpei, why don't you try entering the numbers we found on the voucher earlier? The one that said appetizer 9, meat dish 10, soup A, seafood dish F? Yes. Convert the 10AF to base 10. It's worth a shot. No dice, looks like that's too many numbers. Well, I assume it's one number per thing, so... They fucked me up, so, let's see. Yeah, 9, 1, 6, 1. Yeah, let me enter the fucking thing. Guys. Iron oven. It's pretty heavy duty. Probably industrial quality. Bet you could cook anything with this. Anyway, let's have a look inside. Damn, I knew it's locked. Well, of course we know it's locked. And let me enter the number. Okay, well, I guess I don't get to try. There's some ingredients around here I could cook something for us. Lotus, you can actually cook? Who the hell do you think I am? You better believe I know how to boil hot water and put in my instant noodles. Yeah, I'm gonna guess she's like a biologist or something. And I can boil eggs too. I don't know why she's dressed as a dancer, but... It's a card reader. Since the light's red, I figure it's probably still locked. The key card's gotta be around here somewhere. We just gotta find it. Damn it, didn't work. Doesn't matter how many times you try it, this door isn't going to open until we've solved all the puzzles in this room. I'm sure this is all just part of Zero's plan. I just can't imagine what his motives could be. Okay, so I've got to find something that to go along with the hexadecimal thing. Because I looked at all the plates, I looked at the voucher, and apparently Junpei won't let me try to solve it myself. Hey Santa, could you open that door please? What the hell? There's no way I could open that thing. Guess you get into that age where your eyes could start to go, huh? You better watch your mouth, boy, or someone won't live long enough to see that door opened. Yeah, I lost the internet last night. It stayed down long enough that I gave up trying to stream last night, so I just started up today. It's got the two of them on edge. We gotta get out of here and fast. It's a tank with a pipe coming out of it. Nothing really that special about it. Well, let me look at that thing in the corner. It's a lot of notes. Got a bunch of stuff written on them, but doesn't look like code or anything. This table looks really old-fashioned. Probably means this is an old boat. It's a bolt. And it's really rusty. Will this even open? We won't know until we try. Let's give it a shot. Alright, let's see if you're gonna come out. Damn. No dice. What if we... This bolt is rusted in place. Won't budge. Of course! Maybe if I put some oil on it. Hey! Just a little bit of oil and... Come on. Come on, you little son of a bitch. Whoa. Yes, gotcha, you little bastard. Did it, Jumpy? You're so smart. Don't praise him like that, please. As Junpei walked into the room, a blast of cold air washed over him. Almost instinctively, he folded his arms tight across his chest, doing what he could to conserve body heat.
Oh, it's cold in here. What is this place?
Are you blind? It's a freezer.
Santa's teeth had already begun to chatter. Hardly surprising. Freezer was far too cold for someone dressed as he was. Lotus, however, was in an even worse situation.
Oh, no way. That's way too cold for me. I'll freeze solid in seconds. Sorry, but I'm afraid I'll have to pass on this one. I'm going to leave the rest to you.
With that, she ran out of the room. A smart lady. As Lotus left, June came in.
Oh, whoa. It's really cold in here.
I think she's really kind of the best dressed for this cold room. White puffs of steam hovered in front of their faces as they talked. June had already started to shiver.
Hey, you don't need to be in here. You had a fever just a little bit ago. You should stay outside. We got this.
No, I'm fine. My fever's gone now.
But...
Junpei had scarcely opened his mouth
Huh?
when the thunderous sound of metal upon metal rang out from behind them. In unison, they spun around to find that the door they had only recently come through was closed. Junpei rushed to the door.
No! Why did it suddenly close?
Desperately, he grabbed hold of the doorknob.
Ah!
It was cold. Beyond cold. Merely touching it was painful.
The knob's frozen!
But why?
They quickly deduced that the pipe next to the door had ruptured.
It looks like the pipe next to it broke, and...
Water released by the rupture had hit the door and frozen instantly. Santa shoved Junpei aside and pounded against the door.
Hey, Lotus! You're out there, right? Open the door!
She wasted no time in responding.
What do you want? What's going on?
The door won't open! Try opening it from that side, please!
Oh, fine. If you say so. Hold on.
Soon, they could hear Lotus on the other side of the door. Then the grunting ceased, and they could hear light panting, as if from exertion.
It's no use. It won't budge. You've got more people in there. You figure it out. Oh.
Yeah, but you got hot coals on your side.
God damn it.
Santa was shaking like a newborn deer. June was hugging herself and was shivering violently. Even Junpei, with the heaviest clothes of any of them, was clearly feeling the cold. With every breath they took, they could feel the cold working its way deeper and deeper into their bodies.
Anyway, let's find a way out. If we don't get moving, we're gonna be permanent residents.
Two heads are better than none. I'm sure we'll figure something out.
Yeah, you're right. Let's just take a good look around this room, okay?
Right.
They pushed in close to one another and began to search. Okay. We got food? There's some frozen meat up there. Looks like pork. Huh? What's this? It looks like a tag or something? Jumpy, is there a slip of paper in that meat? I think there's something written on here, but I can't read it like this. If we try and pull it, it'll probably rip. You need to defrost that. Don't think we're going to be doing that in this room. Everything's frozen in here. Doesn't look like there's anything else interesting. Okay, so vegetables, fish, meat, but nothing I can use. Dry ice? Dry ice? Can't you make that stuff cause an explosion if you seal it in something that's airtight? Explode? Yeah, didn't you do that in school? You should never underestimate the power of expanding gas. Junpei picked up the dry ice with his sleeves so as to avoid burning himself.
Dry ice is just frozen carbon dioxide, right?
Yeah, it is.
I wonder how warm it has to get for it to turn back into gas again.
Hell if I know. How is that gonna help us anyway?
Oh, well, I figured we might be able to use it to get out of here.
They were about to move on when June spoke up.
Carbon dioxide sublimation point is negative 109 degrees. Any warmer than that, and it'll turn into gas. Any lower, and it becomes a solid.
Junpei looked at her, dumbfounded.
Oh, how do you know that?
Despite my looks, I'm the the queen of random knowledge.
I don't know, Lotus kind of has you going, kind of has you running for the money right now.
Looks bad to mess up when you're showing off. Oh, you're so cold your mouth's going numb?
Yeah, that's right.
You're just doing that on purpose, aren't you?
June giggled and did her best to hide her guilt. At least she was feeling good enough to joke around, Junpei told himself.
Come on, guys. Don't you think that's kind of weird? I wonder why it doesn't turn into a liquid first.
Because it's carbon dioxide. Santa was now shivering at an astounding rate, but his curiosity seemed unaffected. Junpei... okay. Sure, why not? It did seem rather odd. Why doesn't carbon dioxide turn into a liquid?
It is kind of weird.
June answered.
But it can turn into a liquid. Carbon dioxide turns to liquid if you put it under high enough pressure. But at 1 atmosphere, normal air pressure...
It won't turn into a liquid, right?
That's right. Instead of melting, it'll do what's called sublimating and change immediately from a solid state to a gaseous one.
See, that is weird. Water's a liquid between 32 degrees and 212 degrees, so why isn't that the case for carbon dioxide?
June replied with an answer that stunned both of them.
There's a kind of ice that doesn't turn into liquid when it goes above 32 degrees.
Huh?
I heard about it. Its melting point is 96 degrees.
Ice with a melting point of 96 degrees?
You mean there's water that freezes at 96 degrees?
Yeah, well, You could also look at it as ice that won't melt until it's 96 degrees.
Wait, didn't we hear about something like that? There was something about like ice in the desert or something. Water that freezes at 96 degrees? Ice that won't melt until it's 96 degrees? Junpei was cold as hell, but this was too interesting to ignore. He did his best to warm by rubbing his arms and stamping his feet, then put the question to June.
So what's this ice with a melting point of 96 degrees called?
I heard it's called Ice 9.
Ice 9.
Ice 9?
Originally, Ice 9 was a made-up substance invented by a science fiction author. But recently, scientists have discovered that such a substance actually exists.
Wait, hold up. So is this thing called Ice 9, or is it water?
Like I said, if the ice is over 96 degrees, it'll be liquid. If it's under that, it'll solidify. So you could think of it as a polymorph of H2O. Here, think of it like diamonds and graphite. They're both made of carbon, right? But depending on the structure of the crystallization, the hardness and structure are completely different.
So you're saying normal water and this Ice 9 are like that?
Yup.
She wasn't finished.
Have you heard the story about the crystallization of glycerin? For 150 years after the discovery of glycerin, people cooled it, warmed it. They did all sorts of things to it. But whatever they did, it never crystallized. However, one day in 1920, some glycerin on its way to England by ship was discovered to have crystallized during the trip. Scientists around the world wanted to research this new crystallized form of glycerin and asked for seeds. Oh, a seed is a sample of the original crystallized substance. With a seed crystal, further crystallization of glycerin would be easy. However, something very strange happened. Not only did the glycerin encouraged by seed crystals begin to crystallize, even the samples nearby did, even though they were tightly sealed. And it didn't end there. After that day, it doesn't matter where in the world it is, all glycerin crystallizes naturally when cooled to less than 64 degrees. Before that day, no matter how glycerin was cooled, it refused to crystallize. But once the crystallization had begun, it was almost like... how do I put it? It was almost like all the glycerin in the world was communicating in some way that we can't sense. And now it's happening everywhere.
Junpei. Yeah, that's kind of nice. I was honestly impressed. It was, in fact, a pretty interesting story.
Wow, that's pretty interesting. But, what does that have to do with Ice 9?
To his surprise, it was Santa, not June, who answered.
What she's saying is that it's a lot like Ice 9. What happened, I mean.
A lot like? Oh, that would be bad. If water everywhere started freezing at 96 degrees, man.
It'd be the end of the world.
Junpei felt Santa might not be treating the idea of the end of the world with the proper concern.
At any rate, we're not gonna have to worry about the end of the world unless we can get out of here pretty damn quick.
He was right. Junpei shivered.
Alright guys, I think that's enough of that. I didn't think we'd get quite this far off topic. I mean, I know I'm kinda at fault here, but we can't be screwing around anymore. Seriously, I might go by the name Santa right now, but I didn't grow up in Iceland. I freaking hate the cold.
Well, geez, you see, it's actually not Iceland that's cold, it's Greenland.
So let's get cracking, alright? We gotta find a way out of here.
Santa stopped off, clearly doing his best to pretend the cold wasn't affecting him.
Selfish, isn't he?
Still, Santa was right, and it was high time they got back to their search.
Ice 9 is interesting and all, but we can discuss it more once we get out of this freezer.
Junpei looked at June, nodded, and resumed his search of the room. I mean, yeah, Iceland is cold, but it's not the cold one, like, of the two. This thing is covering something. It's frozen solid. I can't flip it over. Only seems to be two directions I can look. Okay, so we got the dry ice. I didn't think so. Okay, so I got dry ice. Is there anything else in here? Just the frozen chicken, sure. It's really hard. It's frozen stiff. Hey June, can you say that again? Huh? Say it again. It's really hard? Again. Junpei! Thanks. Something wrong, Junpei? Your face is bright red. Junpei! Nothing, I'm fine. It's that hard, you could probably use it as a hammer. Yeah, good point. Maybe we can use it to break something. Don't be weird, Junpei. What do we got? Is this rope? Hmm, cool. It's a rope. Well, we could use it to attach something to something else, I suppose. There's so much stuff in here. Why don't we take some of it out, Jumpy? Storage area built into the floor like a small cellar. There are a couple bottles in here. A water bottle. A water bottle? Yes, it is. Oh, can I combine it with the dry ice? No. Let's see. Hey, Junpei. Didn't you find some dry ice earlier? Yeah? There's warm water coming out of that pipe. Warm water and dry ice. What do you think would happen if we put that stuff in a sealed container together? Well... there's water dripping from this pipe. It looks like when the pipe burst, the water hit the doorknob and froze in place. This water actually seems almost warm. The dry ice is too big. Well, you gotta figure out a way to make it smaller then, don't you, genius? Oh, what, like, take the dry ice, combine it with the chicken, smash it. Alright, the dry ice is all in pieces now. Hey! Oh, and I got rid of the chicken. Okay. Wow, you crushed it up real good. You should be able to get it into anything you want now. Can't you make that stuff cause an explosion if you seal it in something that's airtight? I'm gonna put these pieces of dry ice into the water bottle. Water bottle with dry ice in it. Okay. Well, there's ice surrounding the doorknob. Not yet, Junpei. We're not gonna get the result we want unless you can hook that bottle to the doorknob somehow. It's gotta explode right next to the ice on the doorknob. We need to figure out a way to attach the bottle to the doorknob. Okay, so... fine. Boop, boop. And let's just tie a rope on here. Water bottle bomb. Hey, why don't we use that rope to tie... I already did that. Or, no. He's saying to the doorknob. Okay. We just have to put some water in here, then we can give it a good whack with something. Kaboom. It'll explode and break the ice off the door. Then what are we waiting for? Can't take this cold any longer. Warm water dripped from the ruptured pipe near the door.
Put water into the bottle with dry ice, and make sure the lid's closed. Now I just have to put this makeshift bomb on the doorknob. Alright, that's set. So, what do we do now?
I just need to give it a little, tap. The bottle's already about to pop. If we just throw a rock or something at it, it'll go off all on its own.
A small rock. Huh. A small rock.
Junpei looked down at the floor. Scattered across were pieces of dry ice left over from the large chunk he crushed earlier. Junpei, don't touch that.
Alright, this ought to do the trick.
Don't touch that with your hand. He pulled his sleeve down over his hand to keep it from getting burned, and grabbed the chunk of dry ice.
Ah, some dry ice, huh? Not a bad idea.
It was a pretty good size. About as big as a pool ball.
Alright guys, stand back. Actually, we should probably hide somewhere.
Both Santa and June looked at him with new concern.
Where exactly do you expect us to hide, genius?
Well, we do have this little locker. We got the thing in the back.
There isn't really anywhere big enough.
There's two places we could share.
Yeah, there is. Look, right here. We can hide in there.
Junpei pulled open the door to the small cellar.
Come on, get inside, quick.
Santa and June nodded and jumped down into the hole. Junpei quickly followed. In his hand, he could feel the chill of the frozen carbon dioxide even through his sleeve. He tightened his grip, took aim, and prepared to throw.
Alright, here I go. 3, 4, 5.
Junpei!
Counting the wrong way.
Oh, oops.
That is a really sad excuse for a joke, man.
Sorry, dude. Alright, for real this time. You guys ready?
Fucking goober.
Yes, whenever you're ready.
Just throw the damn thing.
Alright, here I go. 3, 2, 1.
Junpei threw the chunk of dry ice as hard as he could. With the same motion, he ducked down into the cellar with Santa and June, just as... Junpei leapt up out of the cellar and ran to the door.
Jumpy! The ice on the door! Is it gone?
Yeah, it's gone!
The blast must have shattered it.
Yes! Alright, let's see if it opens.
Junpei grabbed the knob and pushed with all his might. The door gave way easily, and all three of them tumbled out of the freezer at once.
Hooray! We're out!
June, relieved, collapsed onto the floor.
Move!
Santa shoved past Junpei and ran straight to the grill, which he immediately grabbed. Don't grab the grill!
God damn it! Hot, 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 hot. Fuck!
He proceeded to kick the grill in a futile but amusing fit of rage.
Well, you did just grab the grill. What did you think would happen? Hey, where's Lotus?
It took Junpei only a moment to find her. She was sitting on a counter, idly scratching her chest.
Oh, welcome back. I was starting to get tired of waiting for you guys.
With a great yawn, Lotus lowered herself off the counter. Junpei clenched his teeth and walked toward her.
What were you doing?
What do you mean, what was I doing? I was waiting.
We were gonna die!
Oh, yeah? But you didn't. So everything worked out all right, didn't it?
But what the hell?
Just kidding. It might not look like it, but I was really worried.
Were you?
Oh, don't give me that crap.
I'm telling the truth. I mean, if you died, then I'd be in trouble too. If you died, then I'd be stuck here, and I'd die too. See? I did all I could. I even looked around to see if there was anything I could use to pry open the door. But I couldn't find anything. So, all I could do was wait. I mean, what else did you want me to do? Call the cops?
It was true that there wasn't much she could have done, but something about her tone. Junpei gritted his teeth.
Fine. But there's one thing I have to ask you.
What's that?
You didn't close the door, did you?
What? You think I closed the door on you? Why would I do something like that? It closed on its own. I told you before, if you die, then I die too.
Yeah, I guess so.
It seemed that an accident was the only explanation for the door's closure.
If she really wanted to kill us, all she had to do was bar the door from the outside. But she didn't. Well, she didn't do anything. She's only lazy, or negligent at least, not an attempted murderer.
Junpei swallowed his anger and did his best to apologize.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I doubted you.
Oh, yes, well that's all right. As long as you understand.
Lotus looked away and twirled her hair between her fingertips. His vengeance against the grill complete, Santa swaggered back toward Junpei and Lotus.
Hey, no more screwing around, you two. Break time's over. Especially for you, lady. You've just been sitting on that fat ass of yours while we were freezing to death.
How rude! I was plenty busy.
Yeah. How about you put all that energy into something besides bitching? Let's go.
Okay, well, I got a piece of meat. Put it on the grill. Guess I'll put this meat on the grill. Hey, what are you doing? What are you gonna do if the paper burns? Oh, come on, it'll be fine. I mean, it's not like it's gonna burn right away, right? We just gotta keep an eye on it, and the paper will be fine. Well, they can argue all they want. I'm gonna keep an eye on this pork. Cool, looks like it's about time. I'm gonna try taking the paper out. Jumpy, be careful. Sweet of her to care, but I know what I'm... Ow! See? I told you. Hey, what the hell are you doing? Hurry up and take the paper out. It's not coming out. This thing's frozen stiff. I can't get it out. Well, yeah, you only cook the outside. So, are we going out to cut the meat? Yeah, it looks like that. Well, I do have a sharp knife. Alright, now that I've sharpened the knife... Yes, I cut the pork. Awesome, Junpei. Now we can cut out the paper. C plus 10 plus F. What is this? Oop. C plus 10 plus F. Do you think it's some kind of code? Damn it, they're just screwing around. Junpei, do you know what C and F stand for? Yeah, it's, if we're going by hexadecimal, then, this would be, A is 10, B is 11, C is 12, so 12, 16. So, 12 plus 10 plus 16, 38, 11, 2. You think maybe it means corporate finance? I thought it was clever and funny. God damn it, Junpei. Okay, well... Yeah, 12... Oh, it's not 16, 15, right. Okay, so I was one off. This is probably what you're supposed to use to enter the password. Maybe if you put in the right number, it'll open the oven door. Junpei, maybe the note you found earlier. Yeah, I know. Do you know how to enter those numbers? I think E is for enter and C is for clearing. So basically, when I'm ready to submit my answer, I press E. If I screw up, I just press C, right? Alright, let's give it a shot. Okay, so hexadecimal. You know, let's 12, 10. Okay, so only 3 numbers. So okay, that so 12, so 3, 10, and 15. Ah, that wasn't it. Huh? This is weird. Hey, you're just punching in random numbers, aren't you? No, I'm punching in guided numbers. Like, maybe if you enter it just like it said in the hint. Shut up. Just shut up. Yeah, I entered it just like it said in the thing. C plus 10 plus F, which is 12 plus 10 plus 15. Okay, well, 12, 10, and 15. Okay, yeah. Okay, it's not just the note. Because I'm going off the assumption that it's like digital root shit. So okay, so I tried, you know, 12 comes out to 3, 10 comes out to 1, and 15 comes out to 6. And that's not it. Okay, so yeah, and I looked at the plates. Is there anything on the bulletin board? Really suspicious there. Silver pots. I haven't seen any numbers. I've only got the note here and the voucher on the table. This is the door we came in through. It's not locked, so we could go back out, but what's the point, right? All that's out there is an iron gate and a dead-end hallway. Yep. Might as well be locked for all the good going back out there do. sink with water in it. There's a couple plates in the water. Oh! What kind of plates are those? 15, it says F on the voucher. 16 meat plates, 16 is written as 10. 10 soup plates, 9 for appetizers. Do I... I feel like I'm missing something. I looked in here. The only thing in here was the knife and the oil. Yeah, the cheese over there. Wow, Jumpy, you can reach really high. Oh yeah, I can jump pretty high. Here we go. And yeah, the light doesn't seem to have anything to do with it. Okay, so... yeah, I looked at that. There's nothing in the trash cans. Don't have anything else besides the pork note. There's nothing written on the back. Okay, so I've got 2 sets of numbers. I'm not sure if the plates are like actually super relevant to this, but the I feel like what it's setting me up is that I'm gonna have to have digital root of this set, of this note, and something else. That's the exit. There's a big old iron plate over the door. I don't think we can open it. Okay. Wait, why did they say that was the exit when this is here? Okay, I'm an idiot. And 10 is 16. Shit. It was pork note. It has a 10 on it. I keep thinking of 10 as just 10. Which is what trips me up about hexadecimal so much. Okay. So if I want to answer... yeah, okay. So it was C plus 10 plus F. What it's actually saying is it's 12 plus... well, that still gives me only 2 numbers. Okay. But yeah, so C, 12, 10, 16, and then F is 15, so that would give me 43. But... yeah, 7 doesn't do it. Can I... oh, okay. Oh shit. Why did it have 3 numbers max if the answer was 2? Like, 2 digits. I guess that went well. Okay, well, what do I got? The door opened. Good job, Jumpy. Saturn keycard. This looks like a lowercase h, but the line through it is throwing me off. This is the symbol for Saturn. Remember, there was an elevator next to the main staircase. Wasn't there a mark like this on the card reader next to it? Oh yeah, I remember that. I guess that means that card ain't gonna help us get out of this room then. I'm not sure. Why don't we try it out? There's only one card and... you know... hey! Yes. I think it's unlocked now. You did it, Jumpy. Let's get out of here. Okay. That was ominous. You found it! That only took some annoying math.
I think we've been here before.
Yeah. I think the worst part is that I've coded in hexadecimal before for PLC programs, and I had a better grasp on it when I was in school. Metal grate stretched from wall to wall. Beyond it were 2 elevators and the entrance to the kitchen.
The elevators are over there, so that means...
We went into the kitchen through that door and came out on this side.
That means the map was right.
Looks like.
Then let's use it to plan our next move.
Next move?
Yeah, we need to decide where to go from here, don't we?
He's right. Let's get started.
From the looks of it, there are 4 possible routes.
Yeah, I think that's where the other team was, in this little hallway.
Let's just keep it simple and call them A, B, C, and D. First, A and B.
Lead to the same
Both
spot.
seem to connect to a room that looks L-shaped.
Yeah, there were 2 doors. But they were both locked. We couldn't open them.
Now, Route C. This goes all the way to the main staircase.
That means it's door 5, one of the numbered doors.
Then do you think we would meet up with the other 4 after this hallway?
No, I don't think we will.
Why not?
Look, there by the stairs. See how the gate is opened?
Oh,
When we went into the kitchen, it was closed.
was it? I wasn't paying a whole lot of attention to that.
But it's open now. What do you think that means?
They opened it.
Most likely.
And if we take Route C, we're going backwards.
That would be pointless.
I mean, there were locked doors with key, the Roman symbol keys. So I imagine we'll have to go backwards at some point.
Then that means...
All 4 looked at the map. They all looked at the staircase, its lazy curve leading down, deeper into the ship.
Route D, then.
D it is.
Yup, Route D.
Then we're set.
They jogged down the stairs until they reached the C deck.
Everything looks okay here.
Let's check the next deck just to be sure.
Yeah, just like I thought. D-Deck is totally underwater.
Just like the bottom of the central staircase.
The water gazed back at them, its smooth surface like a great mirror.
At least the water level hasn't really changed.
Small comfort.
May as well head back to C-Deck.
What else is here?
There are 2 elevators over there at the top of the stairs, just like the floor above.
Hold on. These are kind of different. See? There's a card reader on the side.
Another strange mark.
I don't know that symbol.
Hey, look! It's Lotus's symbol.
Huh?
See? It's the woman symbol with horns on it. That seems like...
Junpei, Jesus Christ, dude.
Oh, ouch, 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 ouch!
Lotus had taken hold of Junpei's hair. She began to shake him violently, and he thought he heard a lull growl coming from her throat.
What was that about the mark again?
Nothing.
Such violence. Junpei began to wonder if she was not the devil itself. Oh, you asked for it! With an uncomfortable smile, June spoke up.
This is a Mercury symbol. The horns symbolize the wings on Hermes' staff.
Hermes, herpes, whatever. If we can't get this thing to work, these elevators aren't going anywhere.
In other words, we need a key card with the Mercury symbol on it.
Probably.
I guess we can't get on then. Let's just disregard the elevators for now.
How about this hallway on the left?
Oh, that was the...
Whoa, there's so many doors.
They weren't sure how many, but certainly enough to be discouraging.
Damn it. If we try and search all these, the sun's gonna go down before we've done half of them.
I think the sun already set.
I have a feeling this ship is the only thing that's going to be going down anytime soon.
That's even worse.
Well, we can come back to this hallway later. Let's check the hallway on the other side, shall we?
Time to head back to the stairs.
To their right was a small hallway.
And now the right hallway.
Quickly, they headed into it. It was approximately the same size as the alcove in front of the stairs. The hallway led toward the stern, and at its end was a set of double doors.
There are doors here too. Well, I guess it's just 4 this time.
Let's open them.
All right, let's start with this one.
Junpei nodded and grabbed the one closest to him. He gave it a small tug and felt it move.
Huh, it isn't locked. I'm going to open it.
Thrilled to have found an unlocked door, he threw it open. Junpei didn't know what to make of what he saw.
What?
Oh, this is creepy. And more doors. He simply stood, unable to speak. The other simply stared, open-mouthed. After a few long moments, Santa began to speak.
What the hell is this? This place is huge.
A massive room stretched out in front of them, more than a cavern than a room. Its vastness was oppressive, and it bore down on the 4 companions. It was not empty, however. The entire room was filled with lines upon lines of beds.
Oh, there are beds everywhere.
They were simple things, little more than pipe and thin mattresses.
Is this a hospital?
He had at last been able to put a name to the harsh scent that pervaded the room.
It definitely has the smell.
Could be. I see medicine cabinets and surgical tools.
Hey, look there. The 4 doors at the end.
Hey, one of them isn't marked. 3 of them were emblazoned with large single-digit numbers made with thick red paint.
The left door says 3. The second door is blank, but the third has a 7. And the rightmost door is 8. There's no doubt, they're numbered doors.
Why is the second door blank? That seems kind of strange, don't you think?
No point worrying about it right now. Let's see if these will open first.
Zero got to this room and was like, oh shit, I've got too many doors. Well, fuck, I have to leave this one blank.
Yes, that sounds like a good plan.
It's like, fuck, I should have made this door, this Titanic with less than, with actually just 9 doors available. He started with door 3 on the left, and moved to the right until he reached door 8. Well, Junpei, we know they're not going to open. You need to
It's
scan.
no use.
Well, of course. If it was that easy to open these doors, what would be the point of the notary game? We have to activate the red, or the numbered doors won't... Wait a minute.
What's wrong?
Look, the display on the red. There's nothing on it.
Huh?
Don't you remember? The red at the central staircase? If no one was inside, it said vacant.
Oh yeah, you're right.
And if someone was inside, it said
But this one-
engaged.
There's nothing on it.
Right?
I wonder if it's broken.
Only one way to find out.
It's not responding.
All 4 took turns placing their hands over the red, but it refused to respond. They pulled at the lever, and still it did nothing. As they soon discovered, it wasn't only the red for door 8 that was behaving strangely.
How about the red on door 7? And door 3?
None of them are working.
What does it mean?
I knew it. They're broken. Zero sure sucks at maintenance.
No, that's impossible. You really think Zero, who prepared all of this, would make such a stupid, simple mistake?
Maybe, but that doesn't explain why this thing ain't working.
It was at that moment that they heard a voice from behind them.
I believe the bottom of the device has been removed.
They spun around to see,
Snake!
but it was more than just Snake.
Ace! Clover! 7!
Though they were glad to see one another, it wasn't terribly surprising that they had. If it had been the other party who had opened the gate in front of the kitchen, it wasn't unreasonable that they'd bump into one another eventually. The rest of Snake's team, however, did look rather surprised.
How?
How did you end up here?
Well, we came through a kitchen.
My line?
Perhaps we should exchange information.
After a moment of silence and surprise, everyone suddenly began to talk, desperate to exchange information. They talked about the rooms they'd been through and how they ended up in the same place. Of course, none of it was very useful information, but that hardly mattered. They were happy to simply see one another again. Although the level of cheer varied greatly from person to person, each one of them was wearing some manner of smile. Almost as though they had already forgotten about the death of the ninth man. No, thought Junpei. Perhaps that wasn't it. Perhaps thoughts of his death were what drove them to smile at one another. Not in a morbid or hateful way, no. The ninth man had died. They were still alive, and that was something to be happy about. A sort of simple, uncomplicated joy, Junpei thought. The joy of being alive. Still alive. Felt sorry for the ninth man, but more than anything, Junpei was just happy to be alive.
There you have it. Our half of the story.
His part finished, Ace fell silent. For a moment, Junpei was silent and thought. Then he spoke.
Okay, let me see if I got all this straight. When you guys got here, the bases for the Reds were already gone.
And you looked all over this room, but you couldn't find anything.
So you figured that there might be something in the hallway with all the doors.
So you went and had a look?
Yeah.
And while you were looking around, you heard voices.
Uh-huh. So you followed the voices and came back here.
Indeed. And that was how we found you.
Why don't we check those 3 Reds again, just in case?
Well, they're not going to have changed.
You're right. Huh. There's a long, thin gap on the bottom. I think it's a slot for something. Probably electronic.
Well, this isn't good. If the red is inactive, we can't keep going.
Well, what about that hallway over there? Isn't there anywhere else we can go?
No, there isn't. There are plenty more hospital rooms, but nothing else.
Hospital rooms. That's what's behind all those doors?
Yes. There are a number of individual rooms in addition to this large one.
There was a door at the end of the hallway, but it was locked.
There was an astrological symbol engraved near the keyhole, however. I was able to get a good feel of it. I believe it was the symbol of Jupiter.
Not again. Those goddamn things are everywhere.
I wonder what they all mean.
For a moment, everyone was silent, deep in thought.
While we're asking what things mean, what's the deal with this room? I mean, I thought this was a cruise ship, but I can't imagine a cruise ship would have a hospital like this.
Of all people, it was Seven who answered, and with calm confidence.
Well, I figure it's probably a hospital ship. Chances are it's the Gigantic.
It's not the Titanic?
The Gigantic?
Junpei looked confused. So did everyone else.
What is this Gigantic?
Seven knit his brow for a moment, and then began to explain.
The Gigantic. She was a sister ship to the Titanic, built in the early 20th century. Actually, the Titanic had 2 sister ships, and they looked exactly the same. The Gigantic was said to be one of them. They intended to make her a passenger liner like the Titanic, but World War I began soon after the ship launched. The British Navy took her over and made her a hospital ship. At some point during the war, the Gigantic was damaged by a German mine in the Aegean Sea. She ran aground afterwards, so she didn't end up sunk. What happened to her after that? One theory going around is that a man named Lord Gordain bought her. Seemed like he'd been one of the few to survive the Titanic sinking. That trauma turned him into some kind of obsessive collector of all things related to the Titanic. Soon enough, the guy wanted the Titanic itself, which was impossible, of course. It's stuck at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. But the Gigantic wasn't. And seeing as she was identical...
So you're saying this Lord Gordain bought this ship?
Yeah, at least I think I am.
That's impossible. No way we're in some boat that's almost 100 years old.
Pipe down, just pay attention. What, that's it? Well, have you got any proof?
Proof?
Proof that this ship is really the Gigantic.
Well, this ship's got stuff that's like the Titanic and a hospital ship. So, I just figured...
Oh, for goodness. Don't tell me that's your only reason.
No, I've got more.
Like?
Well, I mean...
Don't bully him. Seven looked around desperately, doing anything to avoid meeting Lotus's piercing stare. He scratched his head for a moment, then gave up. Finally, he opened his mouth.
I don't know.
Lotus sighed and shook her head.
I guess your memory isn't back yet, is it?
Yeah, sorry about that.
What?
Hey, whoa, wait a minute. Memory isn't back?
Junpei was, he felt, legitimately shocked by what seemed to be new and very important information. Everyone else, however, seemed unimpressed. In fact, they all looked at Junpei as though he'd said something very strange.
Yeah.
Your point being?
He decided to revise his attitude for the next question.
Wait, was I the only one that didn't know?
Everyone nodded.
Why?
Oh, yeah, I guess I didn't tell you, huh? I told the rest of them before we ran into you on the stairs. I told them I couldn't remember a damn thing from before I woke up.
What?
Then, almost as if to save Junpei from further embarrassment, a bell began to ring from far away.
Huh. A bell.
It sounds like the clock in the main stairway.
Junpei counted each chime carefully.
10, 11, 12. 12.
It's midnight.
Then we've still got 6 hours left, right?
We don't have any time to screw around.
Let's look at it more like you've lost 3 hours already.
Let's get going. We gotta find the missing parts for the Reds.
What do you mean, find? How on earth do you propose we do that?
We've looked everywhere in this room. That only leaves one place to look.
One?
Well, not just one.
Wait. Don't tell me you mean we need to search all of the other rooms.
Don't freak out. We've already searched 4 of them.
4 rooms?
We just have to split up the rest between the 8 of us. If each of us can do 6 rooms apiece, we'll have the other 48 rooms cleared in no time.
There are 48 other rooms?
It's weird that the translation is off here. Her earlier experiences had apparently not encouraged Lotus to trust Seven. Seven scratched his head awkwardly.
Maybe?
Alright, so everyone knows which area they're searching?
Yeah.
Yes!
Junpei was chosen to search the rooms on the starboard side, moving from fore to aft.
We'll all meet up when the clock goes off again. How about in that room with all the beds?
Yeah, sounds straightforward enough.
I'll shout if I find any of the components we need.
I hope we can find them within the time limit.
If we can't, then we'll just have to come up with another plan.
Right.
Then let's do this.
The details decided, they left to begin searching. Out into the hallway they went, each to the rooms they'd been assigned. However, from far away, Junpei heard the bell ring. It did so only once. It was 1 a.m. God damn, you've already lost 4 hours?
It's 1. I better get back to the others.
Guys, you are moving so slowly. He jogged through the entrance of the large hospital room to find 6 of the others already there.
Huh?
Ace, Santa, Clover, June, Seven, and Lotus. They had gathered in front of the door number 8. Or perhaps, to be accurate, they had gathered in front of the red next to door 8.
What are they doing over there?
Had one of them found the missing piece?
What happened, guys?
It was June who answered him.
Jumpy, look!
She was pointing at the red. He pushed through the others until he stood in front of it. Immediately he knew what she meant. He knew what she had meant.
Vacant?
Junpei sighed.
Come on, guys. Who was it? I thought we were supposed to yell if we found it.
Well,
Junpei wondered why she was hesitating. Hey, where's Snake? The others looked as confused as June, but kept their mouths shut.
What the hell? What is up with you guys?
Actually, why did we let Snake go off by himself? They all knew something he didn't, and Junpei wasn't about to leave things that way. Finally, Lotus frowned and spoke.
Well, that's the thing. We don't know.
You don't know?
When I got back, it was already like this. There was no one else here. That means I was the first one back, but the missing parts were already back in the red.
What? Let me see.
Junpei looked at the bottom of the red again, just to make sure. The slot that had been open on the bottom was now covered with metal.
You're right. It's in there. What about the other two?
They're the same.
Let me take a look.
Junpei quickly examined the other two boxes.
It's just as you said.
Satisfied that they were also repaired, but still very confused, he returned to the others.
Alright, I just want to be sure here. Nobody has any idea what the hell happened here, right?
Correct.
None.
Ace and June nodded silently. Seven raised his hands as if to say not me, and Santa just shrugged. Only Clover lowered her head and did nothing.
Huh. Wait a minute.
That was when he noticed. Junpei,
Snake.
you're really not fast on the uptake here, dude. Junpei swept his eyes across the room a second time, but Snake was nowhere to be seen.
Does that mean that he found them?
I've no idea. There's nothing to suggest it, but nothing to suggest he didn't either.
Why did we let the blind guy be by himself? Like,
I don't suppose we'll know until we can ask.
he might still be bumping around in a room somewhere. Like,
Well, whatever he did or didn't do, he's pretty damn late. What the hell is he up to?
probably trying to find his way back, dude.
Maybe he's lost.
Yeah, well, that seems likely. Dude can't see. I don't know how he gets around in the first place.
Clover raised her head.
No! That's impossible!
Suddenly, she was shouting.
Yeah, my brother's blind, but he's got really great hearing. He can get around as well as anyone who can see. So he couldn't get lost. That's impossible!
Clover had started to shake, and the knuckles of her hands had gone white. She spun around, and before she did, Junpei noticed tears swelling up in her eyes.
I'm gonna go look for him!
The words were barely out of her mouth when she began to run.
Hey, hold on, Clover. Wait!
Junpei cried out to her, but he was too slow. She kept going, and before anyone else could react, she was gone.
Well, that didn't work. Damn it. What should we do now?
Well, the red is working now.
No! We're not leaving two people behind! We should go look for them!
Oh man, this ain't good.
Oh, yes, what an excellent idea. We just wasted a bunch of time looking for some piece of electronic junk. Now let's waste some more by looking for a couple of idiots.
Then remain here if you feel you must, but there's no time. We've only 5 hours left.
Junpei and the others nodded to one another and took off at a run. In front of the stairs that led to B deck, they decided to split up.
Let's split up.
Alright, I'll take this direction.
Then I shall look that way.
I'll be over here.
See you all later.
Soon, only two of them were left. Those two were Junpei and June, who had been a few steps behind the others.
Alright, we should go too.
Yes, let's go! But where should we start?
Let's see.
A casino? What casino is this? The first class cabin? The hallway with all the rooms? Where did they say they had gone? Okay, I'll look this direction. Oh, they didn't actually say where they were going. Okay, so let's think through. We just came out of the hospital room, so like, unless he somehow dodged us, there's no way he wound up there. The hallway with all the rooms, well, that's where we were all supposed to be in the first place. If he's not there, then I don't really know exactly. Yeah, I haven't exactly. I didn't even know about B deck before. So he might have gone up there because he found something. So let's check the first class cabin.
Oh, what about the first-class cabin on B deck?
Yeah, what about that?
Okay, let's go, Jumpy.
Well, why don't you go to the cabin, and I'll go to the casino. That way we can both explore some news place. Outside of the first-class cabin, they found Clover. She was standing in front of the wall. She was staring at a meaningless point in the wall, her eyes blank. What should Junpei do?
Are you alright?
He did his best to sound friendly, but Clover didn't respond.
Look, I know you're really worried, but...
He could think of no words to say that didn't sound hollow and fake. Junpei hesitated. Clover was so consumed by worry and fear that Junpei feared it would crush her. Her actions didn't surprise him. She had suddenly lost her brother, who she seemed to have been very close to.
Alone.
Her voice was thin and barely audible.
Alone.
Hmm?
Alone. I said leave me alone!
Suddenly she was screaming.
You're so annoying! Just go away and leave me alone! Just looking at you guys is pissing me off! Go away, okay? Just go somewhere else! Stop bothering me!
Junpei was taken aback. Such anger and hate. June's eyes had gone wide with surprise as well.
Why are you still here? Didn't you hear me? Huh? Fine, forget it. If you aren't gonna leave, then I'll just...
Alright, let's go, June.
Yeah.
Jesus. They turned and left Clover. As they did, Junpei glanced back over his shoulder to see Clover wiping tears from her face. Oof. Clover had driven home the misery of their situation, but Junpei told himself that getting depressed would get him nowhere but depressed.
We really need to find Snake, for Clover's sake.
He did his best to push away the misery and depression, and forced a smile.
So, where do you think we should go next?
Okay.
How about the casino?
Let's go take a look.
They turned. Bless me. They turned and headed off down the hallway to their right at a jog. Before they knew it, they were there. So was Lotus. She was leaning against the wall, examining her nails.
Hey, what do you think you're doing?
She glanced up at him, unimpressed.
Isn't it obvious? I'm looking for Snake.
I'm just not seeing it.
Really? Maybe you need to look harder.
I don't think that's the problem.
Oh, by the way, I've got a proposal for you two. Care to hear it?
Sure.
What is it?
Well, I don't like to beat around the bush, so I'll get right to it. Why don't we team up?
Team up?
Yeah. What? You need me to explain it to you? I'm saying, why don't we go through a numbered door?
Even if we wanted to, that's impossible.
Why?
Jumpy's bracelet number is 5, mine is 6, and yours is 8. Our digital root would be 1.
5, 6 plus 8 equals 19. 19 plus 1 plus 9 equals 10. And 1 plus 0 equals 1.
But there's no number 1 door in the large hospital room. The only doors there are 3, 7, and 8.
Yeah.
Then we add another person.
Huh?
Who?
What? Isn't that easy? 7.
Oh, if we add 7...
That would get us through door 8.
5 plus 6 plus 8 plus 7 equals 26. The digital root of 26, 2 plus 6 equals 8.
Then the 4 of them could go through the number 8 door. But
Wait a minute. What about the other 4? Ace, Snake, Santa, and Clover.
Well, why don't you add them up?
that was simple enough.
1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 equals 10.
They would be stranded.
And 1 plus 0 equals 1. The digital root for those 4 would be 1.
That's right.
And you know the number 1 door isn't in the big hospital room, right?
Of course I know that.
No! Are you saying you'd leave them behind?
Of course not. What kind of woman do you think I am? Once we get off the ship, we could come back and rescue them, couldn't we? Then we wouldn't really be leaving them behind.
I mean, you'd only have a few hours, if that. We still have to find number 9 door, and we've already lost 4 hours.
Don't try tried to lie to us. I don't think you do anything of the sort.
Really? Why do you think that?
You remember, don't you? We have less than 5 hours left. Even if we manage to escape, there's no way we could come back to rescue them in less than 5 hours.
Well, you never know until you try.
No, you're not thinking this through. Even if we brought 7 with us, we wouldn't be able to get off the ship. The 4 of us couldn't open door 9. It is hidden, but an exit can be found. Seek a way out. Seek a door that carries a 9.
Yeah, that's right. The digital route for the 4 of us would be 8, so we'd have to add Ace to make 9.
That's right. Unless we bring Ace too, we'll be stuck.
Lotus scratched the back of her ear.
Oh. Well, that's unfortunate.
Unfortunate. That's all you have to say?
She didn't sound particularly bothered by what Junpei had said. Nor did she seem particularly surprised.
Well, let's try and find another way, okay? A way to get out of here with all 8 of us.
I don't think it's possible with 8.
That's impossible. Are you being serious? And you do know that only 5 people, at most, can go through one of the numbered doors.
Yeah.
The number 9 isn't going to be an exception to that rule. Regardless, at least 3 people will get left behind.
Huh?
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
At the moment he said it,
Just a second.
Junpei felt a chill run down his spine.
You're skipping over a really big detail.
Yes, what she said was true, but how Lotus could remain cavalier about so terrifying a prospect was beyond him.
Really okay? That means 3 people will die in the end. Are you okay with that? That's just...
Lotus's forehead furrowed.
Do you think I could have a moment alone? There are some things I need to think about.
Junpei and June turned and began walking away from Lotus.
That didn't turn out to be a very pleasant conversation.
Yeah.
Junpei's heart felt heavy and his steps sluggish. But he told himself pessimism would get them nowhere.
Well, regardless,
So he forced himself to smile and turned to June.
let's just focus on finding Snake for now, okay?
Yes, you're right. We can think about those other things later.
Yeah.
Junpei nodded.
All right. Where should we go next?
Well, we've done the cabin.
Let's go back downstairs and check out that hallway with all the doors. Oh, it's Ace.
Ahead of them, further down the hall, they spotted Ace.
Hey, Snake! Where are you? Answer me if you're there!
What should Junpei do?
Let's go.
With June in tow, Junpei jogged up to Ace. Hearing their footsteps, he turned to greet them.
Ah, hello there. Snake is... well, that's obvious, isn't it? I assume you haven't found him yet?
Yeah, doesn't seem like you're having any luck either.
I really wonder where he could have gone.
Well, wherever he's disappeared to, we must find him as quickly as we can.
Right.
June's face looked kind of enraptured.
By the way, do you think Clover and Snake are really siblings?
Why would you say that?
Why would you say that? The question seems somehow odd to Junpei.
Why? Well, it's obvious, isn't it? They don't look alike at all.
Ace looked at him for a moment, and then he spoke.
Yes, you know, now that you mention it, they don't.
Now that you mention it.
Still, there are a great many siblings who do not look like one another. It certainly isn't rare.
Junpei wasn't sure why, or even if he was seeing what he thought he was. He could have sworn that Ace's face tightened as he spoke.
At any rate, we really must find Snake as soon as possible. The clock is ticking. We really can't afford to waste any time. Very well. Let's get back to the search, shall we? You can leave this area to me.
All right. Let's go, Jumpy.
At June's urging, they left. Does this Ace have a thing about brothers or siblings? They found himself back at the stairs, but Junpei's mind was in turmoil.
Something about that was... I'll think on it later.
No, think on it now.
Like Ace said, finding Snake is our top priority.
Okay, well, there's only one spot left. Junpei did his best to clear his mind.
Alright, where should we go next? Why don't we go back to the big hospital room?
Okay, let's go then.
I swear to God, if he's just wandered in there while we were all searching. They turned and headed back toward the large hospital room.
Hey, wait, that's...
On their way to the large hospital room, Junpei and June noticed Santa standing next to the number 3 door.
Santa?
Santa? Is that you? Junpei paused. What should Junpei do? Junpei and June walked up to Santa.
What are you doing?
What? You can't tell? I'm checking out the red.
Why? Is there something bothering you?
What? It's not bothering you?
Huh?
The guts of this red. Why wouldn't you wonder who the hell put it back in here?
Yeah, that's true. Well, I'm curious too, but...
Who do you think did it?
Santa's eyes narrowed as he looked at June. She shook her head.
I don't know.
Well, what about you, Junpei? Who do you think fixed this thing for us?
Snake, Lotus, Zero, someone other than the 8 of them? So, Zero?
I think it was probably Zero.
Why?
Isn't that obvious? He's the guy who set this whole thing up.
You don't think that should mean the opposite? Seems to me like that means he didn't do it. I mean, who do you think took that stuff out in the first place?
Zero!
Probably Zero.
Yeah, exactly. Then why the hell would he put him back in after he'd taken them out himself?
Like, he put it in once everyone was together.
It just doesn't make sense. Why do all that work?
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
So, what happened then? Who put that stuff back in the Reds?
Junpei furrowed his brow.
So, in other words, one of us is the person who fixed the red.
Santa grinned.
Bingo! We have a winner.
But if that's true, then the person who did it doesn't want the rest of us to know that they fixed it.
Yeah,
But why?
no idea. Maybe if they come clean on that, it means we'd find out something else.
Something bad?
Dunno. But whatever it is, it's gotta be worth hiding. Of course, it could have something to do with Snake's disappearance.
You think maybe they did something to Snake?
Yeah.
Junpei stared at Santa. There was something about him that made Junpei wary. At first, he'd assumed the other man wasn't terribly clever, but Junpei was beginning to think he would need to reevaluate that assessment. When Santa spoke again, his voice was quiet.
Look, if you trust anybody in this game, you're gonna lose. You've gotta be careful. The person you trust the most could turn out to be the one who stabs you in the back.
With that depressing suggestion, he turned and quietly walked away.
And that's that, I guess.
So, basically Santa is saying, don't trust June. Junpei and June looked at one another and smiled awkwardly. Where'd they go next? Looked everywhere. They looked everywhere they could think of, but Snake was nowhere to be found.
Snake hasn't been anywhere we've searched.
Lotus looked around at 6 frustrated faces and spoke.
And we can't keep looking for him. Wherever he is, it's not here. We need to get moving.
Junpei couldn't disagree with what she was saying. Snake seemed to have completely disappeared. There was no point into wasting any more time. The others seemed to be having similar thoughts, but they stayed silent. Finally, 7 spoke.
We don't got a choice. Lotus is right. We're not going to find Snake. There's a problem, though. We've got to figure out who's going to go through which door.
Yeah, not all 8 can go through the door.
Yes, I have a proposal.
She walked back and forth across the floor, her heels clicking against the wood. Finally, she stopped.
Why don't we decide on one person to sacrifice?
Whoa.
Sacrifice?
Well, perhaps that's a bit of a harsh word, but yes. You've all figured it out by now, haven't you? We can't all make it through those doors. If we split into 2 teams of 4 and 3 people respectively, then 3 people will be left behind. If we split into 2 teams of 5 and 2 people respectively, then 2 people will be left behind. But if we split into 2 groups of 3 and leave 1 person out, then only 1 person will be left behind.
Leaving behind 3 people with 2 teams of 4 and 3. It wasn't pleasant, but she was right. There wasn't any way that the numbers worked out. If one group was 4, the other group would always have a digital route that didn't match a door. When Seven spoke, his voice was strained.
Then, you're saying we gotta decide who's gonna stay behind?
Yes, we do. Given our circumstances, it's logically and morally the best solution. If the other
Morally.
6 are to survive, then 1 person has to sacrifice themselves.
No, that's too cruel.
What's so cruel about it?
To just sacrifice someone like that?
Then what's your plan? Maybe we should sacrifice 2 people instead of just 1.
That's not what I meant. We shouldn't sacrifice anyone.
I told you, that's impossible. Wake up.
Whoa, whoa, calm down, you two.
It bugs me when the dialogue does this. Like it's one of those basic grammar things. Like that should be the word 2, not the number 2. Santa stepped between Lotus and June.
Look, what Lotus is trying to say is, you should aim to bring the greatest amount of happiness to the greatest amount of people, right?
Exactly. That's how democracy works. And for that reason, I think the only fair way to decide who will be sacrificed is through a vote.
A vote.
What do you think?
No, that's terrible.
I'm not asking you. Shut up.
Wow.
What about you, Santa?
Me? Well, I agree, I guess.
All right, that's 1 vote for. Counting mine, that's 2.
Let me... something? There we go.
7.
I can't say I agree with you, but we don't exactly have a choice. If we don't do something, we're all gonna die.
Oh, glad to see you get it. If I can get 1 more vote, then it's decided. What about you, Clover?
I think Clover shut down. Clover had moved away from the group and was sitting on one of the beds. Her whole body drooped. Junpei didn't know she'd even heard Lotus's proposal.
Hey, Clover.
Lotus walked over to Clover and gently laid a hand on her shoulder.
Your brother has to be behind one of the numbered doors.
Wait, what?
We've searched everywhere, but we didn't find him. Doesn't that mean he has to have gone through one of them somehow?
I mean, he could have gone back. Like, all the way back. Clover slowly lifted her face.
Let's go look for him together, okay? If we sacrifice 1 person, then we can go look for him.
You sound so mean when you say that.
You agree with me, right?
Okay.
Clover nodded once.
The motion carries.
Lotus spun around and walked toward Junpei.
Now, let's start a vote too.
That won't be necessary.
Ace had barely spoken for Lotus's entire speech, and everyone jumped a little. 6 pairs of eyes turned to look at him. He didn't seem to notice, or even care.
I will stay. That should solve our problem, yes?
Ace, what are you saying? No, you can't do that. That won't solve anything.
June's voice shook, and she looked around desperately for someone to agree with her. Ace simply looked at her.
June, I'm afraid you may have misunderstood me. I said I would stay, but I never said I would sacrifice myself.
Huh?
I trust you. Each and every one of you. I believe you'll come back for me.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. There's optimistic, and then there's just nuts. Those doors only go one way. You go in, you don't come out. If we go through them...
You won't be able to return, correct?
Yeah.
True, but that will not be the case once you've escaped from the ship.
What?
Please, I beg you. Once you've escaped, come back and rescue me. Ideally, within the time limit Zero has given us.
It's a really, really tiny time limit.
No, that's ridiculous. There's no way we could get back in time.
Finally, Junpei could hold his tongue no longer.
We've only got 5 hours left. We don't even know where the hell we are. How on earth are we gonna find someone to come and rescue you?
Then, perhaps you would prefer to stay instead of me? Or perhaps you would be willing to leave June behind?
Damn, dude. Ace's voice was dignified, and without a hint of cruelty or malice. Junpei had no rebuttal.
You see, there's no other choice. Then I see we've come to our conclusion. Go on. Don't worry yourselves about me. Go, quickly.
Junpei stood frozen by indecision, unable to move. June bit her lip so hard that Junpei feared she would break the skin. Santa stood against the wall, calm and aloof. Seven tore his beanie from his head and turned it over anxiously in his hands. Only Clover stared at Ace, with an expression Junpei was unable to decipher. Lotus's attitude, however, was different from the others.
Let's accept his kind offer then.
She smiled, her eyes bright. Ace answered with a smile of his own.
Good. I think this is the best for me. Perhaps I'll be able to take a nap. It may be my age, but I get tired so easily these days.
Oh, come on, dude. You're not that old. As he spoke, Ace lowered himself down to the floor next to one of the beds. From somewhere deep in the ship, Junpei suddenly heard the screeching of metal on metal. It was almost as if the ship were screaming. Would it really hold until their time limit was up? Already, D-Deck was flooded. In the sudden silence, the only sound was the sad metal wail of the ship. Unsurprisingly, it was Lotus who spoke first.
Well, what are you waiting for? We're wasting time. Why don't we hurry it up?
As if a spell had been broken, the others all began to talk at once.
You're right. We should get going. That's all we can do right now.
7.
Seriously. Honestly, I was getting kind of sick of listening to you guys talk.
Well, Jesus, dude.
You too, Santa?
I have to find my brother.
Wait, all of you. Let's just calm down and think about this. There has to be a way to get everyone out. There has to be. Right, Jumpy?
Well, no. Even if everyone took a door, there wouldn't be enough.
Say something.
Yeah, let's think. There's gotta be another way.
His words sounded hollow and fake.
Fine. Forget about it. I'll figure it out on my own.
She spun around and ran towards Ace. He had slumped down next to the bed when June grabbed his arm and pulled.
Ace! Come on, Ace. Please stand up. You can't give up yet. We just have to sit down together and think about this. We'll figure out a way that we can all get out of here.
Then it happened. Uh-oh. Ace fell forward. He slumped over onto the wooden floor, his body folded in half like a boxer out cold.
Ace!
June cried out and dropped to her knees beside him. She put her arm around his neck and did her best to lift him up.
What happened? Ace, say something!
She shook him frantically. His eyes fluttered open.
I'm all right.
His voice was weak and slightly slurred.
How are you all right?
This.
He held out his left arm and slowly opened his hand.
A syringe?
It was a syringe and a small vial. The vial was empty. It had only recently been emptied. A few drops clung to the sides. There was a label taped to the side of the container. It read, Soparil Beta. Soparil Beta?
Soparil Beta. What does this do? Did you use this?
Yes. It's just anesthetic. I'll be fine.
Ace, don't get high.
Anesthetic?
I found it earlier. While we were searching the hospital rooms. I thought it might be useful later. I didn't think I'd be using it on myself.
Why did you do this?
Didn't I tell you, I'd like to take a nap. I really am very tired.
Junpei knew that wasn't why he'd done it. Ace had injected himself with an anesthetic to forestall Junpei and June's attempts to bring him along. If he couldn't move, there was nothing they could do. He'd injected himself so that they would be forced to leave him behind.
Ace,
Is there something you want to say? I just like to sleep a little. Could you keep it down?
no, don't, Ace, don't fall asleep.
You feel warm, so comfortable. I think I'll have a nice dream.
Ace's eyelids drooped further and further, almost as though he were dying.
Ace! Ace!
She shook his shoulder again and again, but this time he didn't respond. Only the gentle rising and falling of his chest told him he was alive. Junpei was relieved to see he was, in fact, still breathing.
Let's get him up on a bed.
He lifted Ace up off the floor and laid him on the bed he'd been leaning against. When Junpei turned around, Lotus gave him a look of pity.
Well, we really don't have a choice now. We can't let his sacrifice go to waste, right?
Like you even mean that.
You say something?
No, nothing.
It felt wrong, but he had to agree. Then suddenly Santa spoke.
Yeah, but we're not done choosing yet, are we?
Huh? What do you mean?
Now we got the doors.
Well, we haven't decided who's going in what door.
Oh, yes. Yes, that's true.
Enough of this screwing around. Let's decide. You first, Lotus. Which door do you want?
I want door number 8. It's the same number as my bracelet number.
Got it. You're 8. You're next, 7. Which one do you want?
I'll take 7. I can't get along with that old lady.
What? What did you just say?
Her face distorted by rage, Lotus took a step towards 7. He threw up his hands and made a face like a child caught with his hand in the cookie jar.
Who, me? I didn't say nothing.
Oh, you're gonna get it next time.
She shot him a glare that would have melted steel, then turned and stalked off.
Alright, who's next?
Santa's gaze moved across the 3 people left. Finally, they stopped on Junpei.
Junpei, which door do you want?
At last, Junpei's mind was already made up. Okay, so... bless me. Okay. So, we got 3 doors. Door 3, door 7, door 8. Well, we cannot take door 3. Like, physically, we cannot take that door. Like, we do not have enough people here to split between all of them. So, door 3 is not on the menu. It's either 7 or 8. So, door 7, what is with 7? I'm not gonna do it anyway, that would just get me killed. So, door 7. So, 7, 5, give us, that would give us 3. And so to get in, we'd need to go with Clover. Oh, joy. Door 8, so that would give us 5 and 8, 13, 14. And we would have to go with Clover. Oh, goody, we get Clover either way. I'll go for 7.
I think I'm gonna go with door 7.
Okay, 7 it is.
Yeah.
Alright then, that means June's gotta go through 8.
What? Why?
What?
His math. Santa grimaced and muttered angrily to himself, but finally began to explain.
If the 6 of us are gonna keep going without leaving anyone behind, there are only 3 ways we can do it.
Plan A.
Have 3, 5, and 8 go through 7, and 4, 6, and 7 go through 8.
Plan B.
4, 5, and 7 go through 7, and 3, 6, and 8 go through 8.
Plan C.
Or 3, 6, and 7 go through 7, and 4, 5, and 8 get 8. There are no other combinations. In other words, 3 and 4 and 7 and 8 can never go through the same doors. You get it now?
As Santa finished, June looked over at Junpei, tears welling up in the corners of her eyes.
Oh no. You're saying we aren't gonna see each other again for a long time.
Oh, I mean, like an hour, maybe. Junpei felt just as June did. He wanted to be by her side through whatever trials they were preparing to face. But he knew if they were to survive, he had to swallow his feelings. In order for the 6 of them to move forward, he and June had to be separated. He looked at June. He was scared to lose her, but he swallowed, steeled his resolve, and did his best to smile.
Hey, come on. You're making it sound like we're never gonna see each other again. We gotta split up, but only for a while. This is just like when we went into the 4 and 5 doors, remember? We got split up then too, but we all met back up. I'll bet 7 and 8 are just like that.
You mean they're connected somewhere?
Yeah, probably.
I mean, we have a map. We could look at it.
Probably.
Didn't sound very hopeful. It was 7 that interjected.
I'm sure they're gonna connect somewhere.
Why? What makes you think so?
If they don't, then neither team can get through door 9. In other words, the game would end right here. Zero's been on top of his shit so far. I don't think he'd blow it now. I'm damn sure that son of a bitch wants to have his fun as long as possible. He's not gonna end this game until we get through the 9 door.
June said nothing. The tears were gone, but her eyes were still as sad as they looked at Junpei. He met them, and with what reassurance he could manage, laid his hand gently on her shoulder.
Everything's gonna be fine. We're gonna see each other again. I promise.
June bit her lip and gave him an almost imperceptible nod.
Yes. Promise?
Her voice was barely above a whisper. Santa's voice shattered the moment.
You guys are done, right?
Yeah, you guys are wasting a lot of fucking time. He stretched and continued.
Anyway, that's pretty much it. Clover and I will both go into separate groups. I figure I'll take 8 and Clover can take 7. Any problems with that, Clover?
Clover looked away and was silent for a moment.
Whatever.
It was more of a dismissal than an agreement, but Santa didn't seem to care.
Alright, we're ready to go then. Let's move.
At Santa's command, the group split and headed for their respective doors. Clover, 7, and Junpei walked toward door 7. Santa, Lotus, and June headed toward door 8. For a long moment, they stood in front of the door. 7 took a deep breath.
You guys ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, let's go.
It's open.
A narrow hallway stretched out before them. 7 and Clover leapt through the door.
Let's do this!
Hurry!
The moment they did, their bracelets beeped. The detonators in the bracelets had been activated. Junpei stepped forward to follow them. But as he was about to step over the threshold, he stopped. Junpei! He looked to his right, toward door 8. June stood there, a mirror image of Junpei. Hurry up! She turned and looked toward him. Their eyes met. They nodded.
June.
Jumpy.
Their farewell took almost 1.5 seconds.
What the hell are you doing, Junpei?
Then someone took hold of Junpei's arms and hauled him bodily through the door. Nice. Good going, 7. It's like, none of this romance shit, come on. He heard the sound of the numbered door slam shut behind him. His bracelets gave a cold electronic beep.
Only 81 seconds left! No time to waste, guys! Let's get moving!
7 led the way down the hallway. Junpei and Clover followed him as fast as they could. After what seemed like a far more than 81 seconds, they reached the end of the hall.
Look! The door on the left! I can see the dead!
There was no time to rest or catch their breath. All 3 slammed their hands in quick succession over the scanner panel of the dead. Still trying to catch its breath, 7 leaned heavily against the wall.
It stopped. It stopped.
Smile seemed forced and a little crooked.
This is the second time we've gone through one of these numbered doors, but whew, you never really get used to it.
He stood up straight, no longer out of breath, and wiped some of the sweat from his head and neck. Clover smirked at him.
I would have thought a guy your size would have bigger balls than that.
Jesus, Clover, come on.
What? What the hell did you just say? Say it again! I dare you!
You have no...
You little... You want to die?
I'd like to see you try.
You fucking brat! All right, let's go!
Hey, calm down, guys. This isn't the time for this.
She's fucking ready to fuck him up.
It's not gonna do us any good.
Junpei sighed. Sometimes he wondered if the doors and the puzzles were really the greatest challenge they faced.
Wait here for a minute, alright? I'm gonna go see if there are any other doors.
They didn't respond, but Junpei wasn't in the mood for a conversation anyway.
I just came through this door. And of course it's shut tight. There's a short hallway on the left here, and an iron wall. I doubt I can get through it.
At last he gave up and returned to Seven, who was tapping lightly on the wooden door.
This door's the only option we've got, right?
Yeah, looks like it.
Hey, something's written on the door. On that iron plate.
It says operating room. If this thing's telling the truth, there could be body parts inside here.
Okay.
Well, this is probably not going to be pleasant.
Something about it made Junpei feel nervous.
Well, there's no point to standing around. Might as well go in and see what's waiting for us.
Seven grabbed the brass knob and slowly opened the door. The creak of the hinge sounded like a groan of an old woman.
What's wrong?
No, it's nothing.
A chill snaked its way down Junpei's spine.
Let's just go.
Quickly, he gathered what courage he could and took the first step into the room. Seven followed, with Clover right behind him.
Huh?
Part of the room was just past the door. Part of the room just past the door was obscured by a screen.
What the hell is this?
Well, it's an operating room, so I imagine this is the operating area.
Why don't we take a look?
Hey, Clover!
Clover's curiosity got the better of her, and she darted past Junpei to peer around the screen. Oh, what, is there an actual corpse? Her scream nearly blew out Junpei's eardrums.
What? Clover!
He and Seven ran toward Clover to see what had frightened her. Did Zero put the ninth man on the thing?
Hey, what's wrong?
They rounded the screen, and the cause of her outburst was immediately clear.
What the hell is this?
Oh, that's just a mannequin.
Is this a corpse?
No, you can see the joints. It was something that looked kind of like a human lying across some sort of bed. No, not a bed. An operating table. The table sat on a rusty steel lift, and a cluster of bright operating lights shone down on it from the ceiling.
We should probably take a closer look.
Yeah.
Slowly, they approached. As they got closer to the body, it became clear that it wasn't a body at all.
This is...
What the hell? That's just a huge doll or something.
Doll?
It's still pretty creepy. Clover did not look terribly comforted. Slowly, she approached the operating table and looked, as intently as possible, from as far away as possible, at the thing. Junpei could see it relax.
You're right. It's only a doll. Man, it really scared me.
She heaved a great sigh of relief and wiped a few drops of sweat from her forehead. Seven smirked.
Well, I guess it would have been weird if you actually had any balls.
Shut it! Don't you start with me, fatty.
Oh, what's this? You want a piece of me, short stuff?
Guys, come on.
Yeah, bring it on, you whale!
Hey, guys, not again, okay? Seriously, knock it off.
They are ready to go.
Jeez. Anyway, it looks like he's got something the two of you could stand to have a little more of. I'm talking about a heart.
Wow, Junpei.
Huh? Oh, this? You mean on his chest?
Yeah.
It was set a little higher than normal for a human body. From the shape of the organ, there could be no doubt that it was a heart.
Why would there be a heart in a doll?
I don't think it's a doll.
You think maybe it's like a medical mannequin or something?
Yeah.
Or maybe it's got more personal uses.
7. She is a kid. 7's grin was far more than a little perverted. Clover glared at him.
Anyway, how about we take a look around this place? Let's go.
Okay.
Sure thing.
Seek a way out. Alrighty. Let's see. There's a couple doors. Alright, so time to get started. These dolls are really kind of creepy, you know. Hey, it says something here. John? You think that's this doll's name? Maybe. This thing is creepy. Wonder why it's on the bed. Hey, I wonder what this thing is. It says kg on the display. Maybe it's a scale? Oh, if it says kg, then it's kilograms, yeah. An operating table. You think old operating tables looked like this? I have no idea. What's this? A white cloth. Okay. Huh? There's some sort of lid on this thing. Why don't you try opening it? Can't. There's no handle. I can't get under with my nails either. One sec. That time of the night when the allergies start hitting. Creepy medical mannequin. Apparently his name is John. Yeah. Right? A medical mannequin with its guts showing. Ew. Gross. Hey, Junpei. There's a slit in this thing's chest. Yeah, sure is. There's something in there. God. Maybe we can get it out. Ugh. Damn it. Sticking thing won't budge. It's stuck. Well, I guess you can't use force on this one then. We need something small that can fit in that little hole. What, like a scalpel? Or forceps? Oh, like a scalpel. Scalpel that's not rusty. Seems like it was put here for a reason, huh? You think it's telling us to cut something? Yeah, I do. And I got a pretty good idea of what it wants. None of the other stuff looks useful. Yeah, it's all pretty rusty. An internal organ, specifically a lung. You can see this thing's internal organs. If we had something that could fit into those cracks, maybe we could take out some of the internal organs. What, the scalpel not good enough? Okay. Kosher forceps. Are those scissors? They look kind of funny. No, that's probably a pair of kosher forceps. Surgeons use them during operations. They can hold blood vessels shut and keep tissue out of the way. We can use it to pull stuff out of small holes or something like that. Okay. Bunch of surgical tools. What's this thing? It's got those short iron legs. Maybe it's a heater? There's nothing inside it. Ew, that's gross. This is the chest. It's a woman's chest. The heart's gone, but it's pretty hot. 7, what the fuck? That kind of thing turns you on, 7. You're a real creepo. Like, oh man, yeah, this is so hot. Just, oh god. Just, yeah. Maybe Maybe you're supposed to heat something like that gauze to kill the bacteria? There's a boiling thingy over there. There's nothing on the lid or in the drawers. There are a whole bunch of bottles on the shelves. They all look like medicine. Got labels, but they're all big medical words that I don't understand. The drawer is empty. Yeah, nothing there. There's a lot of different kinds of medication. It's hard to tell them apart. Okay, so... fake organ. So we took the organ thingy out of the chest thingy. It's a lung, non-organ thingy. Huh? This part here on the back, it's all rubbery. You're right. So, it's a fake organ. Of course it'd be... Wait, what's Seven grabbing it for? Hey, it feels like there's something in here. Think we can cut through the rubber part? Like the scalpel? Let's try cutting this organ with a scalpel. Got the organ key. It's just a key to an actual organ, like the instrument. There's a key in this organ. Found a key in an internal organ. Ah, it's Kingdom Hearts! Aha! Here's the key to the heart. Okay. Preparation room. Cool, it's unlocked. Oh, I guess that's what the key was for. I still have the key, so it's not done yet. I think you hang your coat here. There's a bunch of hooks. Let's see if... Huh? A piece of paper? What's this? Is this some kind of medical record? New material's been added to the file screen. Well, what do we got? Medical record. A medical record found in the preparation room is records for the two mannequins. There is a male mannequin named John and a female named Lucy. The record shows each mannequin's total weight and the weight of their individual parts. Are we gonna have to get the scales right? Like give him the right heart that weighs a certain amount to get them to match? Okay. Okay. There's a ray of light going through the beaker, and it's hitting the thing on the right. There are 4 different lights, each one a different color. White, red, blue, and purple. Does this thing react to something, and then the lights light up? I found a beaker. Okay. Well, that's certainly a thing. What the hell are you doing? Oh, it was... Ah! Don't you want to get out of here? But I'm tired. It's locked. It won't even budge. Do you think this is the exit? Oh. What's this? A light switch? Doesn't seem to be working. Wait, what is this? It's got another symbol on it, so... It looks like an upside-down Saturn key. Or, It's not 21. I'm pretty sure it's, like, another symbol that I don't know. It won't open. Looks like it's locked. There's a red plate on it. Do you think that means something? Well, I'm thinking that I need to shine the correct light in order to open up one of those. The sink. The doctors and nurses probably washed their hands here before an operation. Nothing suspicious here. Okay, so... It's not a whole lot in there. What's the other direction? Chemical room. Awesome, it's unlocked. Oh, okay, and there goes the key. And what do we got? Iron 1, salt 2, water 3, carbon dioxide, ammonia, ethanol. I got blue liquid. Looks like there's something inside that bottle. Why don't you try pouring some out into the cap? Can't see any reason why not. What's that? It's bright blue. Do you think it's alien blood? Where the hell did that come from? And what do you think it is, 7? I don't know, some sort of special bath soap? What a boring guess. And red liquid, okay. It looks like there's something inside that bottle. Yeah, and this one will be bright red. You think it's blood? No, I thought blood's thicker than that. And what is it? Beats me. I mean, it's probably just, like, dye. Hey, Junpei, you think there are any slugs on this ship? Huh? Well, if there are any, I was thinking we could put salt on them. Clover! I mean, fuck slugs, yeah, but that's really weird and out of place. What's she pointing at? The label states NaCl. Salt, huh? Do you think 7 will shiver up if we put it on him? Hey, you say something? Evil child. Junpei, there's a bottle of iron powder on the shelf. How do you know it's iron? The label says Fe. Fe stands for iron, right? Yep. It's basic periodic table stuff. Something stinks. Is it coming from this bottle? It says NH3. That of course stinks. It's ammonia. Ooh, good stuff. Let's go for a drink. What are you talking about? I'm talking about that bottle. It says C2H5OH, right? Oh, ethanol. It's ethanol. And, that's right. It's also known as ethyl alcohol. It's pretty much what booze is made of. Yeah, but you don't want to drink it. So, you're gonna drink it? Nah, I won't. Might say that's what's on the inside. That's what it is on the label, but there could be anything in there. Yeah, you don't drink stuff in a chemical room, no matter what it says. Hey, Junpei, there's a dihydrogen monoxide on the shelf. Why don't you just say water? It's like, oh my god, there's dihydrogen monoxide over there. Dude, it's just water. What's this? It's like a can with a spray nozzle. It says CO2, so it's a can filled with carbon dioxide. Okay. Rectangular table. Wonder, do people mix medicine on this thing? This thing won't open. Is it locked? You probably need to put in a passcode. Jeez, they've even got a keypad on there. How much more obvious can you get? You can only enter 3 numbers. E is for enter and C is for clear. Once you input the number, press E. If you mess up, press C. Let's give it a shot. Well... iron 1, salt 2, water 3, carbon dioxide, ammonia, ethanol. Is it asking me for those numbers? So... Oh, is it the amount of atoms in the thing? So, one iron atom, so Fe, NaCl comes out to 2, H2O comes out to 3, so carbon dioxide, that's 3, ammonia, what was ammonia? There's a bottle of ammonia on the shelf. It says NH3, so that's 4. So 3, 4. There's a bottle of ethanol on the shelf. It says C2H5OH. So 2, 7, 8, 9. So we have 3, 4, 9. Hey! A fake heart. A heart. This thing is super creepy. This ain't good for the heart. And a fake right arm. Oh god, do we gotta assemble the woman too?
You think we should go back?
Yeah, I think that's probably best.
Clover nodded and left. Junpei was about to follow her when he realized that Seven wasn't following suit.
Hey, Seven, what's up?
Oh, well,
He looked up at Junpei distractedly, and then back down at the brown bottle he held cupped in his large hands.
Is that a medicine bottle?
I got curious about it. Here,
In response, Seven tossed the bottle gently to Junpei. He caught it and twisted it around to read the label.
Ethylene diamine tartrate?
yeah, that's right. CDT.
What kind of medicine is that?
It's not medicine. I think it's an industrial strength detergent.
Why would they have something like that here?
Well, probably to clean stuff up.
Like blood.
Clean what up?
Like
Fuck
blood.
if I know. Still, it looks like it's cleaned my brain up.
Junpei looked up from the bottle.
You remember something?
Yeah.
Seven nodded slowly and spoke.
Well, I remember a story about EDT. Happened about 50 years ago. There was this factory somewhere in America making big old EDT crystals. They were making it to sell as an industrial strength cleaner, like I told you before. But a year after the factory started up, something strange started happening with the crystals they were building. Water molecules started attaching themselves to the EDT crystals. This made them into a sort of mutation of the original crystals, called a hydrate. Once the crystals turn into a hydrate, though, it's useless as a cleaner. The factory had to just dump the crystals. As a hydrate, they were useless. But it didn't end there. After that day, the same thing started happening in EDT factories everywhere, even ones nowhere near that first American factory. They'd been making crystals the same way, with the same materials and the same equipment and environment. But now, all of a sudden, every single crystal they formed turned into a hydrate. In fact, ever since that day, no factory anywhere has been able to make a pure EDT crystal.
Oh, so it's like the glycerin.
Even in EDT research done years before, they'd never gotten a hydrate. But after it happened at the first factory, it just spread. It was like, how do you say it?
Like the molecules were communicating with one another, transmitting information in a way humans couldn't perceive. This phenomena spread throughout the world, right?
Yeah, like Junpei looked up at Seven with half a smirk. Seven stared at him, dumbfounded.
Yeah, that's it exactly. But how did you know?
I heard another story, kind of like that one.
When?
In the freezer?
What freezer?
What? The freezer?
Yeah, June told me.
Yeah, about the glycerin. Junpei told Seven the story he'd heard from June in the freezer in the kitchen. How one day glycerin began to crystallize. And the story of the ice that wouldn't melt at room temperature. When Junpei was done, Seven looked thoughtful and absent-mindedly rubbed the scar on his chin.
Ice that doesn't melt at room temperature, huh?
That sounds familiar?
Yeah, hold up. I feel like I can remember something. It's right there.
Seven squinted. His eyes stared off into space, as if he were trying desperately to focus on something far away.
Do you?
Know something about Ice 9?
Do you know about Ice 9?
Ice 9? Ice 9. Ice 9. Ice.
Suddenly, Seven's eyes shot open.
That's it. I remember now. That woman, she's on this boat.
That woman?
Alice!
Who's Alice?
Come on, the woman who won't melt at room temperature.
Huh?
It became clear to Seven that Junpei had no idea what he was talking about. He ran his hand across his face and took a deep breath.
You know how the Titanic sank on April 15th, 1912, right?
Yeah, more than 1,500 people died. Worst maritime accident in history. What about it?
Did you hear about the boat that was sent to collect the dead bodies?
I think that was the RMS Carpathia, right? It was a cruise liner, just like the Titanic.
No, that was the ship that picked up the survivors. The ship that collected the dead bodies was the CS McKay Bennett. The McKay Bennett showed up on April 17th, 2 days after the accident. It set out from Halifax, a port in Canada, and recovered 306 bodies. The Atlantic that far north was really cold. It would have to be for there to be icebergs and stuff. Anyway, the bodies they pulled out of the water were frozen solid.
This isn't a very nice story. So, what happened next?
Well, they say the McKay Bennett recovered something more than just dead bodies. There were various bits of stuff floating around in the water. things the drowned had carried with them, or stuff that dislodged as the ship sank. One of the things they found was a coffin.
A coffin?
Yeah, a wooden one. The craftsman who made it must have been pretty skilled. It wasn't just a wooden coffin. It was all wood, no nails, no reinforcements, no gaps in the wood anywhere. The thing was airtight. The crew got pretty curious about what might be inside it and opened it up. They had to get a wedge and hammer it open. It was so well made. Inside, they found a woman. Or, I guess you should say, they found the dead body of a woman.
Oh, June talked about this, the mummy.
Her hair was thick and black, and her skin rich brown with no blemishes or signs of decomposition. They say that she looked gorgeous, like a goddess. She was obviously dead, but everyone who looked at her said she just looked like she was sleeping. Her skin was so lifelike, she looked like she might wake up any minute. And she didn't, though. Like the rest of the bodies they found, she was frozen solid. Eventually, the McKay Bennett finished searching and returned to Halifax. The 306 bodies were unloaded and taken ashore. However, it was warm enough that they began to thaw. The stink was horrible.
I can imagine.
But there was one body that didn't thaw, and that was...
The girl in the coffin.
That's right. Everybody thought for sure that she'd melt and start to rot like the rest of them eventually. But weeks passed and nothing happened. And a month passed, and another. It was summer, and she was still frozen solid. After a while, people started to say she was some sort of miracle. Rumors about her started to spread. People came to visit Halifax from all over. After a while, people started to call her All Ice, Alice. Of course, those rumors didn't last long.
Why?
Well, she up and disappeared. One day Alice was there, the next day she wasn't. They say someone snuck into where they were keeping her and stole the body. With the body gone, the rumors followed pretty quickly. After a while, no one remembered her. You might be able to find something about her if you could find a newspaper from back then, but that's about it.
Wait, you just said that she was on this boat.
Yeah, I did. Alice has got to be somewhere on this ship.
Now, why the hell would you say something like that?
Because I know.
And just what is it you know?
What happened to Alice after she was stolen?
All right,
Junpei gulped.
tell me, what happened to Alice?
Seven nodded slowly and took on the look of a man recalling something long buried.
Well, around that time, the word was that there was a special black market in New York. All millionaires from all over the world. I've heard that Alice went up for auction there. The person who won the auction was Lord Dashiell Gordain.
Oh, that guy again.
You've heard that name before, right?
Lord Gordain. Oh, isn't he the guy who bought the Gigantic? The Titanic's sister ship?
Yeah, that's him. Although I guess he hadn't done that yet.
What do you mean?
Gordain bought Alice in 1912, and 4 years later in 1916 he bought the Gigantic. And he hid Alice somewhere on the Gigantic, but nobody knows where. He died in 1931, and apparently he died without ever telling anyone where Alice was hidden.
However, what?
Well, he did have one close friend who asked him, "Where is Alice?" And he said, "Alice sleeps in a small chamber past the Forest of Knowledge beneath the navel of the Gigantic."
What the hell is that? Is it some kind of riddle?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Seven threw his hands up in defeat.
So that's it. Whatever you think, I believe it. She's hidden somewhere on the Gigantic. In other words, she's hidden somewhere on this ship.
I mean, Forest of Knowledge, that'd be a library? Or Junpei could dispute Seven's rather bizarre claim, as Junpei was trying to figure out what on earth he was going to say next. Clover's shrill voice pierced the room.
Hey, what are you two doing over there? Stop wasting time and get over here.
Okay, we're coming.
Jeez.
Seven looked at Junpei.
Yeah, so anyway, that's the story. It might be useful someday. Don't forget it.
I mean, there's apparently like a running thread. With that cryptic remark, he turned and left the room.
Alice. Huh.
Junpei was left behind to ponder what he'd just heard. He tried to remember what June had told him earlier.
That mummy wasn't just a normal mummy. They say that she was frozen. The story says that from the time of its discovery all the way through to when it got put on the Titanic, even though it was carried through the desert, her body never melted.
Then was that Egyptian priestess Alice? Did the water in her body become Ice 9?
No, that's nuts. There's no way somebody like that could exist.
Junpei shook his head, trying desperately to clear it, and followed Seven to the operating room where Clover was waiting. Okay. Junpei, where are you going? That's the door we came through. The only thing out there is the numbered door. I'm pretty sure I don't need to tell you that the numbered door is a one-way deal. So, you're saying there's no point to going back there, huh? And they're nodding. Awesome. Okay, well, let's look what we have. We have some parts of a woman, we have a heart, we have the liquid. Liquid. So, an empty beaker. Okay, it's blue liquid. Bam. Hey, the blue light turned on. And I heard a noise. It sounded like something unlocking. It's a powerful laser. Very good, it just drains. Leg. Fake left leg. And, red liquid. The red light's on now. I think I heard another noise. And the right leg. I've almost got the whole woman. Let's... Oop. And bam. And purple. I get it. You combine the red liquid and the blue liquid to make a purple one. Good job, Junpei. Purple light came on and I heard it unlock. I'm sure it's unlocked. The locker with the purple plate has got to be unlocked. Yes, Clover. Alright, let's see what happened. A fake stomach. Cool. This is a really big nose. It's no nose. It's a stomach. Oh. A stomach. This is the left foot of the mannequin. Do you think I'm better? What? Do you think my legs are skinnier? Good job, Junpei. Don't reply to that. The right foot of the medical mannequin. I guess it's a woman's foot, but damn, doesn't look hot at all. You got a thing for feet, Seven? No, that's crazy. You're sure acting kind of shady. Well, he did say that the bust was hot. It's the right arm of the body. It's kind of creepy. Part of the medical mannequin. Purple liquid. Oh, so they're one thing now. That bottle has purple liquid in it. A locker with a purple plate on. Nothing left inside. Nothing left inside. Okay. Sink. Doesn't look suspicious. Right, I need the key for that. Or, was there anything else over here? A cabinet with a drawer in it. There's nothing left in the drawer. Okay. Well, a thing for boiling tools to sterilize them. There's nothing in the drawer. Nothing on the lower shelf. A lot of medication. Bunch of medicine up there. Oh, and we found whatever her name was. Some kind of device attached to the bed. It says KG on the panel. Is this a scale? Yep, but she already has one of her arms, so this bed doesn't look very comfortable. Okay, so we've collected the 6 parts of the medical mannequin. So you think these parts here go to this oh, you mean Lucy? That's her name, I think. See? It says Lucy right here. Oh yeah, right. Well, it doesn't look like John is missing any of his parts. So the ones we've got must be for Lucy, right? Yeah. Seems like it. Well, I say we give Lucy her parts back. Any objections? Nope. Agreed. Alright, let's get started. Combine. What does the scale say? Oh, there's a number on here. 51 kilograms? What's this? Is this the weight? Well, we were just stacking body parts on it, so it makes sense that it'd be the weight. What was the... Lucy needs to be 53. 53.2 kilograms. So I need to change out their pieces. 51.3. Hey, nothing happened. That's odd. Maybe it's the wrong weight. Weight? Yeah, well, you know how there's a scale on the side of the bed. Maybe we need to get the scale to a specific number. How are we gonna do that? I think we're supposed to swap her body parts with John's. Oh. Let's give it a shot. The screen will display 2 medical mannequins. You can switch their body parts by selecting the part you want to switch out. Oh, that's handy. Okay, so, she needs to be 53.2. Okay, so switch out literally everything except the heart. Hey Junpei, I just heard something. Came from John's operating table. Better check it out. There's some commentary there that I'm not nearly qualified to talk about. Huh. The lid on the scale. Hey, it's a key. Oh, I get it. We must have opened because we matched John's weight to what's on the chart. Jupiter. There's a mark engraved on the key. I think it's the Jupiter symbol. Yep, we got the Jupiter symbol. Oops. And now we can go through the Jupiter door, which was past here. Bam.
Hey, hold on.
Junpei stopped, about to put the key into the doorknob.
Oh, what's up?
Where's Clover?
Huh?
Junpei turned around. Clover was nowhere to be seen.
Oh, god damn it. Where the hell did she go? Okay, just hold on a minute. I'll go get her.
Sure thing.
Junpei left Seven at the door and headed back to the operating room. He found her, standing next to the operating table. She was staring at the mannequin.
Hey, Clover, what's wrong? Come on, let's get out of here.
She didn't respond. If she hadn't been standing up and breathing, Junpei might have thought she was dead.
What are you doing? Did you want to come back here and say goodbye to John?
It wasn't the best joke, but it was something, an attempt to lighten the mood. Clover didn't laugh. She stood stock still and said nothing.
Hey, Clover, can you hear me?
Perhaps it was something he'd said, or perhaps it was something else. Suddenly, her mouth opened, and she whispered in a dry, dead voice.
My brother might be dead.
Huh?
That's why we couldn't find him. If he's dead, I'm going to be next.
Suddenly, the operating room felt very, very cold.
What are you talking about? What's wrong with you?
He gave her a small shake, but she still didn't respond. The silence grew heavier. Junpei, what do you want to do? Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Hey! So, guess what I have? He didn't know why, but suddenly Junpei remembered something he'd been given earlier.
It's in my pocket somewhere. Here it is.
He reached into his pocket and dug it out.
A 4-leaf clover.
Santa had given it to him in the second classroom. He held it out to Clover.
Hey, did you know? Each leaf means something. Hope, faith, love, and luck. That's what a 4-leaf clover stands for. Take it. Use it as a good luck charm.
He pressed the 4-leaf clover into her hand.
Listen to me, Clover. No matter what happens, you can never lose hope. You have to remember what's most important, and that's to have faith and to have love. If you can remember all of those, that'll bring you good luck. Snake, I mean, your brother, he's not dead. He's alive, somewhere. I'm sure of it. You've just gotta believe in that.
Clover stared at the four-leaf clover in her hand. He could see tears start to form at the corner of her eyes.
Thank you.
Her voice was tiny and broken, and as she spoke, she started to cry. She tried to hide her tears by looking at the floor, but it did little good. She wiped away tears with the baggy arms of her jacket, but more quickly took their place. No matter how she tried, she couldn't stop crying. Her tears made small wet circles on the floor.
Thank you.
She said it again. Then she looked up at Junpei and seemed to choke down the last of her grief. She did her best to smile. Junpei wiped an errant tear from her cheek with his thumb and gave her the best smile he could manage.
Now come on. Seven's waiting for us at the exit.
But still, she didn't move.
Wait, before we go, there's one thing I want to ask you.
What's that?
What do you think when you hear the word experiment?
For a moment, his mind froze. Then he came back to his senses and realized the word meant nothing to him, aside from the dictionary definition.
What?
Oh. I guess it was just a coincidence then.
A coincidence? What?
I mean, that you knew about the four-leaf clover.
Look, I'm sorry. I don't want to be a jerk, but you are making less than no sense right now.
Oh, no. It's nothing. Just forget about it.
Oh, don't give me that. You really think I could just drop this? What is this experiment you were talking about?
Clover looked away. The four-leaf clover was still in her hand. She stared at it for a long moment and then finally spoke.
You promise you won't tell anyone?
Cross my heart.
Really?
Really?
I can trust you, right?
Of course you can.
Clover slipped the four-leaf clover into her pocket. Her eyes still red from crying, she looked up at Junpei.
Okay then, I'll tell you. I'll tell you what happened on this ship 9 years ago.
What?
Wait. On this ship?
Yeah, this ship.
He was entirely lost. He had 1,000 questions, but it was probably best, he thought, to save them until Clover had finished.
It was an experiment to test some sort of psychic thing. Communicating through these fields that you can't see.
Oh, the morphogenetic fields, yeah.
Fields that you can't see?
How are we managing to cover everything that we talked about in the first door? He'd heard something like this before. Clover nodded.
Like, think about this.
She pointed at the operating table. On top of it was a somewhat mismatched medical mannequin whose parts had been swapped with another mannequin.
This is John, right? But is he really John?
What, is this going to be like a Ship of Theseus question?
Huh?
All Junpei could think of was she has finally completely lost it.
Isn't this like Locke's socks?
Locke's socks?
Or the Ship of Theseus?
Yeah, that one. Junpei grew even more confused. He'd never heard of either of those things, although they sounded smart. I mean, it's a I don't know about the socks, but the Ship of Theseus is a really old philosophy question.
You don't know? You haven't heard of those paradoxes?
Well, they're not paradoxes.
No?
Junpei shook his head.
Really?
Clover laughed.
Okay, well pay attention then. This is how Locke's socks works. Let's say I've got a pair of socks. They're my favorite socks. One of them gets a hole in it. What would you do if that was your sock, Junpei?
Well, I guess I'd patch it up, get some cloth, and close up the hole.
I just toss it in the garbage.
But what if another hole opens?
I'd add another patch, I suppose.
What if another hole opened after that?
Another patch, I guess?
Well, let's say you just keep adding new patches, until eventually the original cloth of the sock is totally gone. Once you get to that point, can you really say they're the same socks you started with?
Well, that's tough.
Yeah, so it's the Ship of Theseus. Is it the same thing after you've repaired it so much and replaced all the original bits? Junpei crossed his arms.
So, that's the Locke's socks thing?
Yeah, The ship of Theseus is a lot like it. The ship of Theseus. If you keep fixing the damaged parts of a ship, eventually it ends up with none of the parts it started with. Can you really say that ship is the same one you started with?
Yes.
And what if you took all the old parts from the first ship and built another one somewhere else?
Then it would be a ship made with the parts of the original ship of Theseus.
Then which ship is the real ship of Theseus?
The first one. Oh man, I'm so good at this.
The one you repaired, or the one you built with all the original parts?
It was an interesting question. Clover could see Junpei was intrigued.
Hey, do you think it's the same?
What's the same?
These guys. Is this John, or is it Lucy now?
Junpei looked at the operating table again. A mannequin full of body parts from a different body. Clover had been right. It was just like Locke's socks in the ship of Theseus. The part of the body that holds person's identity is the head. Of course, for many hundreds of years, conventional wisdom had held that a man's identity resided in his heart, or any of a number of internal organs. And here they had both.
John's head and heart are both his, but apart from those and a single arm, the rest of his body was once Lucy's.
Was that mannequin really John?
We're just like these mannequins.
She looked at Junpei again.
Think about it. The cells in our body change every day. Old ones die and new ones are born. Maybe part of my arm is made of stuff from a fish I ate once. Or maybe part of your right side is made from a cow you ate. If you take it a little further, those cows and fishes are made from something else too, right? That's how we're all connected. Through fields that can't be seen with the naked eye.
The silence was broken by Seven.
Hey, what the hell is taking you two so long?
Seven's head appeared in the doorway. He was not happy.
How long are you gonna make me wait? We don't have time to screw around.
It's like, oh come on, you got story time with Alice. Like, I can talk about morphogenetic fields. Junpei and Clover looked at each other. Clover looked at Junpei as if to say there was more she wanted to tell him. She shook her head. Whatever she had to tell him, she didn't want to tell him in front of Seven. Seven seemed to catch on.
Oh? What were you two doing? Was this some sort of secret meeting?
No, it wasn't. We were just playing with the mannequins.
Huh?
Let's go, Junpei.
Moving a little bit too fast to be entirely innocent, Clover headed toward the exit. Seven stared after her, then turned to Junpei with an amused expression.
Playing with mannequins, huh? Didn't know you were into that kind of thing, Junpei.
Dude, fuck off.
You're a dick.
Junpei dashed past them and traced Clover's path out of the door. With a short laugh, Seven followed. They stood in front of the door. Junpei took out the Jupiter key.
Alright, I'm gonna open it now. Is that cool?
You don't need to keep asking, just do it, alright?
Fine then.
He slid the key into the keyhole and turned it. He felt it unlock. The door opened with a soft, melancholy creak. Beyond it lay a simple white hallway. There was no fanfare or confetti. Obviously, there was no one there to applaud them. They simply walked through the door. That was it.
Alright, let's get going.
Hey man, what's up with you? You're so serious, you know? Can't you sound more happy, you know, get a little excited?
We're still stuck on a death boat, dude.
Not really.
Junpei turned away from Seven and took his first step down the simple white hallway.
My brother might be dead.
I don't think so.
I'm going to be next.
I don't know why that. Clover had told him only a few minutes before that her brother was probably dead, and she was likely to follow him.
Like hell I can. Not after hearing something like that.
You found it. I like that as the escape thing. Alright. It is 9:55. I think this is as good a time as any to stop. So, just gonna save my spot. And And then, hope you all have a good night.